good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing? And a few seconds ago, Speedwagon 95. Thanks for the follow. I can't not say like Speedwagon. You watch JoJo once and you have to say it that way. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Hope we're all doing good. Finally a stream when you don't have class? That's sick. It's not... Class is important, but sometimes you gotta not have class to take part in the streams. My mod in my Discord server says he wants to make fun of me in voice chat, so screw you. I don't know why you're even a mod. How's everybody doing? Today... Yeah, first off, how's everybody doing? I'm doing okay. Randomly, fireworks have been going off all around the place. It's weird. Moonbow says, I like your room. Thank you. This is actually my living room. But my brother and I live together, and we just kind of exist in the room where our computers are. So he pretty much exists in his bedroom, and I exist in the living room. So my office / living room is all here. So all my guitars are there. I've got my piano here, all that stuff. So yeah, it's cool. It's a nice space. I like having an office space that's separate from the bedroom. I know there's a whole bedroom guitar scene, but it's nice just having, you know, a space dedicated towards working on music. So this is why I have the office. So my PC's all here. I've got keyboard, Axe effects, guitars. So it's a nice little office space. Hello, welcome to Streams Davidigus. What mic is this? This is a Shure SM7B. It's like the podcaster streamer, like every single streamer and podcaster has this mic. So yeah. Today's been a bit of a weird day in that, like, they've been fireworks going off randomly all over Glasgow. And Glasgow is I don't know what cause for celebration there is in Glasgow today, but apparently people are just celebrating something instead of fireworks. I do hope that they're not gathering together in groups outside, though, because we're still technically under a lockdown here. But yeah. Welcome. Hello, Aravind. Welcome to the stream. We are doing our usual Friday free chatting, and I guess I should add a disclaimer. If you are going to consume alcohol on the stream with me, you should do so responsibly and with consideration for yourself and the people around you. I'm not going to do Friday drinking every single stream, but I do have... I fucking demolished this bottle last stream. Luckily, I drank it very slowly over the course of a very long stream, so after the stream, I was okay. Now, after the stream, I felt it for sure, but during the stream, I think I was okay, and I didn't do anything dumb. But we're gonna indulge in a little bit of Lefroy Glore. And we're just gonna chill. We're just gonna chat. What's my verdict on the 7B against other mics if I've tried others? So I've had, I've just had this random condenser mic. I think it's a, what is it? Let me go grab it. If you saw me throwing something, that's how I keep my office organized. This is a AKG Precision. It's a condenser mic, so I've been using this for the longest time. It works fine, but I just saw this mic on relatively cheap. Well, I just saw this mic relatively cheap for Toman, and it's different because this is a dynamic mic, so it doesn't use phantom power. So I've had to get used to using it without phantom power. I'm trying not to overwater. Also, thanks for the follow, Moonbells. So yeah, I mean, like this mic is built for this purpose, like streaming and podcasting and talking into. So yeah, put it on a table to avoid liquid damage. My X effects are smashed by airline luggage. Only medical acing was. I feel like I missed some context here. Damn, still working. Otherwise, you join. I mean, you gotta work, man. Gotta earn that living. So you can sub and donate to me. Just kidding. Don't do that. Only subscribe and donate if you have the financial means to do so. And if you don't want to watch and you don't want to sub and donate, that's totally fine as well, because that's totally something for you to do. Is low latency mode a thing you've investigated for Twitch stream settings? I don't think my stream's like as short as latency as you can get. It's like, I think it's like 10 seconds or something. It's really, really short. People here in Austria have been busy demonstrating against the lockdown rules because they want normality back, but also against vaccinations. I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat. Yeah, that's a rough one. There's actually been a really reassuring article actually that I saw today in the BBC. So let's go. Let's look at news. What's a stream without looking at news? So COVID in Scotland, life could be normal by mid-June, is what a leading public health expert said. So that's in Scotland. So we've been in full lockdown since 5th of January. But about a third of our population's been vaccinated. So I don't know what else. I'm not going to read the article, but basically, like, a third of our population has been vaccinated, and a lot of people are getting their second doses. For whatever reason, the UK is really, like, there was a survey I saw that, like, I think about 82% of people in the UK like supported having the vaccinations. Like, we have the highest proportion of our population from that survey, at least, that say that they support having the vaccination. Like, for whatever reason, there are not that many anti-vax voices in the UK, which is cool. My dad has already gotten both of his doses of the vaccine, which is quite good because he's a doctor. And it's one of my biggest worries during the whole COVID-19 thing was just the health of my dad, because he's got asthma and he also works as a surgeon. So being a doctor, having asthma, and having a like respiratory virus going around as a pandemic are not things that you want to mix together. But he's always been very smart about it. He's very, like, he was always outspoken about how we haven't done enough to prevent this. So he's been wearing a mask every time he's been at work and all that kind of stuff. So, but my dad's gotten his vaccine, so, like, some of the worries alleviated. My mom's getting hers soon. Cloud Cascade, thanks for the sub, tier 1 sub. Thank you very, 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 very much. Great news for regard to the pandemic. Already opened up Texas 100% since Tuesday. Lucky I vaccinated. Yeah, I mean, I can't really go. I mean, I don't really know what's going on in America with regards to their approach to it. It's just a bit weird. Like, I don't know why. I don't know. There's just a lot of. I mean, like, it's like statewide. It's like you have the federal system, right? So you got the different states who want to do their own thing, and then the federal government can't really mandate a federal approach because obviously states won't like that. So you kind of just have this, like, mishmash approach to it, and yeah, it's a weird one. Hello, keep your cool. Burnt McGirt said, I got the vaccine, getting the second one soon. That's cool. Like, my brother and I are, like, bottom priority in Scotland, but they've already done, like, the third oldest they're doing it by age first, so they're doing, like, the very oldest people in care homes and then going, like, age downwards. So my brother and I will be in the bottom, like, priority group of people who are going to get the vaccine, so we'll probably get ours at, like, end of May, June. But until then, we're just going to, keep what we've been doing and keeping ourselves mostly indoors and wearing masks anytime we're outside. What kind of surgery does a big man do? He's a general surgeon. So, like, anything like lower GI, anything like that, he does that kind of surgery. Like, so he mostly does appendixes and stuff like that. But he's kind of semi-retired, so he's just kind of, like, my parents are kind of living the dream of, like, they've paid their mortgage, they're just chilling, So, and, like, they literally moved 2 continents for my brother and I to get, like, the best possible, like, upbringing education that we could have. So, like, I'm totally happy for them to just chill and just take it easy, Yo, you inspired me to write progressive weeb shoegaze music. That's cool. Have a nice stream, lads. Gotta go write paper. Good luck on writing your paper, dude. Still staying at home mostly. Been wearing a mask when at work or public. Yeah, I just think that it's so little effort. Like, just, don't go outside unless you need to. And if you go outside, wear a mask and stay, 2 meters, 6 feet away from people. It's like so little effort on your part that I'm shocked that so many people are against it. And, like, a lot of people have had to make sacrifices. Like I don't even. I've talked about it a bunch of times, but, like, we obviously know, like, the amount of sacrifices that people within the music industry and like the entertainment industry at large have had to make in terms of like, you know, live performance and travel and stuff like that. Like, you know, there's just been no music industry really outside of countries where they managed it well for a year and a half. And, you know, people are hoping to try and get tours on the road and stuff like that, but it's just not happened. Kato, hello, welcome to the stream. Yeah, it's a wild one though. Like, I'm hoping that there'll be a point where people are able to, you know, freely play live shows and stuff, but it's hard to say exactly, you know. Are you enjoying any video games lately? Favorite game from my childhood? What do I remember from childhood? Like, I played a lot of Crash Bandicoot. My family was a PlayStation family, so I never really played like Nintendo games. So like, some people might find this blasphemous, but I've like never really played like Zelda games or Mario games or stuff like that. Played Crash Bandicoot. I really fondly remember playing Ace Combat. I was a big fan of the Ace Combat game. So like, when the new Ace Combat came out on PC, like I bought a fucking flight stick. Was sitting there like a nerd. I was wishing it was in VR, but it wasn't. But I was like, you know, sitting there with a nerd with like my flight stick and like playing like Final Fantasy fighter jets. It was great. What other games? Big fan of Metal Gear. I think you guys, if you've been to my streams, like I've been doing like David Hayter impersonations and stuff like that. I love Metal Gear. For more recent stuff, I love Mass Effect. I can't wait for the Mass Effect Legendary Edition to come out. And recently I've been playing lots of Skyrim. I've just re-downloaded Skyrim and modded it, and I've just been playing lots of that. Except like most of my Skyrim has been remaking characters. I've started 4 new playthroughs because I've not liked my character on any of them, and I know you can change your character's appearance using console commands on PC, but I was like, no, I'm gonna start again. I'm gonna change my playthrough, change like my build as well, and just until I get the character I wanted. I've stuck with my character so far, so hopefully I'm just gonna go with my Skyrim playthrough for that. What camera is that? As in this camera. Oh, that's a Logitech C920, I think. It's the Logitech one that all the streamers use. I've had this one for years, though. I'm pretty sure mine's like a really ancient version of it, but it still works, so I can't complain. But yeah, video games recently, like I've been in a bit of a sort of thing with video games where I'm like, I finished Horizon Zero Dawn on PC and I really enjoyed that, but then I was just like, I kind of want to play like an RPG with a character creator, and I just didn't find anything that I hadn't already played. And like the MMO I've been playing mostly is Final Fantasy 14. I've like not been playing that at all recently, so I'm just kind of was in a lull where I was like, didn't really find any games appealing apart from like just playing League of Legends with some friends. And then I just downloaded Skyrim, and for whatever reason, I was having so much fun. And I don't know if like, I'm pretty sure everybody in chat's played Skyrim, but like, I don't know if you guys can help me with this one, because like, if you think about it, Skyrim is a game where the graphics are worse than other games, the questing is worse, the writing is worse, combat is worse, the open world is kind of worse as well, and like objectively on every single measure, it kind of does everything worse than other games, but it's still so much fun. I don't know if you guys can explain it. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm trying to be objective. I'm thinking about it while I'm playing. It's like you know, it's just, it doesn't do things as well as other games do in the same style, but it's still just so much fun. So I don't know. I can't explain it. I have Crash Bandicoot Trilogy and Nitro Kart. Nitro Kart is underrated. I like it better than Mario Kart. I didn't play Nitro Kart. I played Crash Team Racing back on the PlayStation 1. That was a fun game. My fun in Skyrim has been focused on breaking its own rules. Oh, that's fair. Yeah, I think there's definitely an element to like limit testing in Skyrim. It's amazing because like I've seen like some of my like I've been playing Skyrim with a bunch of my friends, and like we've been showing each other like the mods, and like one of the mods like basically created a mansion that automatically like changes you out of your outfit into like a lounge suit as you walk in, and it has guards. I'm just imagining, what if the Bethesda devs actually put effort into the game? And like, because like the modders have just made this game into whatever people want it to be. I'm just like, imagine if they actually just tried to make a good game, you know, instead of what is essentially like a blank canvas for mods. RE Skyrim can't cut a metric on fun. Yeah, that's true as well. Enchanting armor, never waste magic and destruction. You pretty much limit testing. It's all true. It's like an uncanny valley effect with Skyrim with how good it is. It's almost good, but not. It's my theory on why it's fun. Yeah, I mean, like, the thing about Skyrim as well is I just feel like it's so easy to just. Maybe it's because it is so blank slate. Because like a lot of RPGs, you kind of need to buy into the main character, for instance. So like even with a game like Mass Effect, where you make your own character, you're playing like Commander Shepard. A Commander Shepard is a character and has a set of characteristics that you can define, but you're relatively limited. And like if you play The Witcher, for instance, it's the same thing. You know, Geralt is a character, and even in Cyberpunk 2077, V has voice lines, so V is a character. Whereas in Skyrim, you kind of just whoever you want to be in your head, and yeah, it's a weird one. It's just it's actually just one of the things I'm afraid of in the next game. Just play mechanics, not fleshed out stuff. Yeah, I mean I think a lot of people will be disappointed if the new Elder Scrolls game isn't just another platform for mods. Also, like I know, like I did mention like why didn't Bethesda just make it a good game, and I do realize that Skyrim came out on PS3 and Xbox 360, so there was just huge technical limitations that come with those consoles. Like Oblivion came out on those consoles, so they had to make that same game for those consoles and somehow make it prettier and bigger, but on the same like hardware limitations. So I could definitely see like why Skyrim had a lot of limitations. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like just a bunch of mods. And just running around and doing whatever. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. Also, like if you guys were here for Wednesday stream, we started work on a sort of jazz tronica song, and it was okay. So like I felt a bit off about Wednesday stream. I don't know. Like I just didn't feel good about. I don't want to say like my performance, but like I felt like I wasn't talking enough, or I wasn't like I wasn't explaining stuff as I was doing it enough, and I wasn't overall happy with the song. So I think on Monday when we go back to it, I'm gonna spend a lot of time like trying to fix up the harmony, try and make things more interesting, because I think the melody is good. It's like a nice sort of blank slate. But after that, I'm gonna look into just making things a bit more interesting. I think I can do better. Also, I might change up the patches as well, because I feel like the wobbing is a bit much. So, we'll see. I also need to do the Never Gonna Give You Up version of the Electrofunk song. So, that's something we're going to do That's something I'm going to do over the weekend, probably, so that all the Twitch subs and stuff can get it in the Discord server for that day. So, yeah. That's on the music stuff. I think you as a streamer did great. Don't worry about that too much. I mean, it's just like... It's one of those things like, if you've ever played live and you really like focus on your own playing or in any kind of like live performance stuff, and like because when I record stuff, like I can spend as much time as I want, making it as good as I want it to be. Gwenful, hello, welcome. We're just doing our Friday chatting, but yeah, so like whenever you play live, there's always things that bug me about your performance. Whenever I played on tour, there was always things every single night that bugged me about how I played. And then people would be like, "Oh, that was amazing. That was great." I'm like, "I'm glad you enjoyed it, but like, I didn't think it was that great." So maybe it was a case of that on Wednesday. Like, I just felt like, you know what it was? I was just really full. Like, my stomach was really bloated from the burger and the sweet potato fries I had. I was so full. But yeah, if you're just joining the stream, we're just doing Friday night, hanging out, chilling, talk about whatever, and I'm dipping into the Lefroy again. So if you want to share a drink with me, please do. Also, please drink responsibly, unlike me last Friday. And yeah, let's just hang out. I was thinking of things to talk about, and I don't know if you guys saw this by Pliny. He released a song, and I don't know if I can play it, but I'll at least show you the post. So, Pliny, let me change the scene. So, new experiment. Go to pliny.co/NFT for more details. So, I don't know if you guys saw this. Is this gone? Might just be gone. I'll drink caffeine to that. Watching Konosuba because of you, really fun show. Konosuba is great. I'm glad you're watching it because of me. It's a really, really fun show. Anyway, yeah, so apparently this is gone. He's, unless it's... Oh, no, it's still there. Case sensitive, apparently, was the issue. Okay, whatever. So, he's got this thing, and I don't know how many of you guys know what NFT is and, you know, blockchain stuff. I don't know that much about it either. But I was just wondering what your take is on, you know, him doing this kind of stuff. Because, like, it's like, I don't know. He divided his 42 character into 6 bars of 7/8 numeric. But so you can listen to it. So, like, I'm just wondering, like, apparently NFT is to, like, you know, create a sense of, like, very traceable ownership over things. And I'm just not sure how that works for music. Grackle won't sing. Pliny C2A2 confirmed. I've actually not spoken to Pliny about, like, doing something like a second split. I mean, he might totally be open to the idea. I just haven't asked him about it. I've just assumed that, like, he's going to be too busy. But, yeah, I'm just, like, because the way I see it is, like, obviously, like, I feel there's a sort of California gold rush thing going on with NFT. Like, a load of people are trying to get in on it. And I'm not saying Pliny's doing that. Like, he obviously probably thinks it's something cool that he can get involved with. But there's also a load of other people just trying to get on it. And the thing about the California gold rush is, like, loads of people went to chase the gold rush and not a lot of people made anything out of it. So, yeah, I don't know. NFT art did blow up. I think that's one of, like, the first things about NFT that made it, like, a thing, really, was, like, NFT with, like, art and, like, fine art and stuff. It's just a bit funny with music because, like, I guess, like, it's hard to create uniqueness in a single recording. Like, the way that you create music, uniqueness in music, in my eyes, is, like, if you can't limit the recording, the song, then what you have to limit is the performance, right? So it would be like every single person would own a specific performance of a song, and, like, that obviously doesn't scale very well because, like, you know, if 1,000 people want a copy of a song that is unique and owned through whatever NFT method or whatever, it's like you have to perform that song 1,000 times. I just don't know how it would work for, like, a single recording, for instance. Like, there was that Wu-Tang Clan thing that happened where, like, they sold off one of their songs. But yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm one of the people that are, like, I'm already doing something incredibly risky with, you know, doing music as a career. So in terms of the things I engage with and, like, you know, revenue streams, I wanna go with things that are relatively, like, mature in terms of how they've developed and, like, you know, are relatively solid, which is ironic because, like, my career started out on, like, you know, taking bets on Bandcamp and streaming services and stuff. But I don't know. I don't think I understand enough about it, but it's interesting that he's looking into it, and I'm gonna wait and see how it evolves because obviously I don't know. Like, it could completely work for music. It could completely be a bust. I don't know. Yeah, they sold a record to Martin Shkreli, and that was the only owner. So that's the thing for me. It's like I don't want to limit who gets to listen to my music. Like, if anything, I would like to have my music more accessible to as many people as possible. So that's why, like, streaming was such a big deal because it made music more accessible. And, like, we can talk about, you know, how it limited income towards musicians, and I think that's more a label issue than it is a streaming platform issue. But it definitely democratized how music is listened to. And another thing as well is, like, the streaming services and, like, you know, the editorial playlists on platforms like Spotify made it so that, like, the tastemakers weren't, you know, radio as well. It was like you're either listening to music on radio or you're, like, in some, like, sub scene where you were hearing stuff. But, like, I remember when I was a kid, like, I heard metal music through, like, Kerrang. I don't know if you guys remember Kerrang if you're from the UK. Kerrang TV, Scuzz was another TV channel that played, like, you know, metal and rock alternative stuff. So, yeah, I don't know. The thing about the streaming is that they moved the tastemaker from the radio and the TV shows and the TV stations too, like editorial playlists and also like user generated playlists as well. So it kind of made it. I feel like today it's more easy than ever to discover music that's just right for you, which I don't think it was as easy way back when. Like, it was always the case of if you wanted to find music that you liked, you'd have to go find it. But I feel like with Spotify and the platform like that, and also just the internet in general, social media, it's so easy to find music. Well, not so easy, but like much easier than it used to be to try and find music that is, you know, to your specific taste. So there is that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the NFT is going to be the next revolution in music. I'm not so sure. I'm a bit skeptical, just because I don't see the easy pathway from, like, you know, NFT to making music accessible to a lot of people. But then my end point is, like, my end goal is accessibility and like having my music accessible to as many people as possible. And you know, maybe they don't match. Gotta do some stuff. Back later if you're still up. Have a great stream. Thanks, man. I love how Pliny sees music everywhere. His 1745 song Bird Surfer sounds similar to this project you're talking about. Yeah, it's cool. It's like, I think it's really cool to take physical things and like derive music from them, like shapes or, you know, colors and stuff like that. I'm very much like a lot of my inspiration for music comes from like visual things or like imagining certain scenes and trying to like imagine, like for instance, like Senpai EP and Senpai 3. Like I imagine how like this scene would be like, and like I'm trying to think what is the music in the background to that. So that's how I work. So like Pliny did like an architecture degree, so it's like it kind of makes sense that he's very visual with his approach to interpreting and coming up with music. So or visual, and also like, you know, he's kind of imagining like a structure out of something. So he sees, you know, a set of numbers. It's like, okay, you can derive some kind of like structure or music from that. So I think it's cool. I think it challenges you as well because it pushes you outside of how you normally approach making music. So there's that. So yeah, it's cool how he does it. NFT and crypto in general is pretty convoluted. Doesn't necessarily have to be unique or exclusive. I think some people just like the idea of owning the token to a song. Yeah, possibly. So yeah, I just kind of like, because obviously NFT is like something fungible token. I can't remember what the. I mean, I would just look it up. Something fungible token. Non-fungible token. I mean, like, it's the definition says it's a non-fungible token is a special type of cryptographic token that represents something unique. So like, I generally feel like it's around uniqueness, but you know, it could be it could possibly use. I'm just like I'm not knowledgeable enough or smart enough about that space to make any like judgments. Uses a crap ton of energy and basically nothing. I think the better model is to release many thousands of copies of the NFT music and let the fans have an opportunity to own for a while and then sell. Creator gets a cut each time NFT is sold. NFT is probably a better investment if you plan long term. Uniqueness would probably help the sale of a token a lot more. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like for an individual song, like for instance, I just think that like, you know, it's a unique recording would make ownership of it like more worthwhile. But as opposed to like the same recording, I just don't see how it works, right? So it's an interesting one for sure. I'm like I said, it's just very. It's very, like, new to me. So it's hard to say something. It's very hard to say, like, whether it'll go one way or the other. I can't make a judgment on that. I'm very much in the camp of I'm going to wait and see what happens. I don't want to, you know, pay an early adopter tax or anything, or because for me, it's like I'm relatively okay with the model that I exist in order to, you know, monetize music. And while it could be better, rocking the boat is kind of like, it's a bit risky. So we'll see. You touched on Pliny using visual things to create music. It was cool, but I particularly like how you said you do that to a different extent. Would you expand on that? Perhaps give an actual example of finding music and something visual you put into music as we fans have heard. Before I get to that point, Lantasy says, problem is you can't stop piracy even with NFT. There's an audio app, people can record it. Yeah, I mean, I mean, like, piracy is one of those things where I feel like the way to beat piracy is to give people a product that they can't get by pirating something. So just make the legitimate product a better thing than the pirated product. And it's hard with audio because, like, you know, there's only so much you can do. But I have faith by just, you know, reaching out and being honest and open about, you know, how I create music and, you know, about how I monetize my music and stuff like that. I feel that that's the way I go. There's not so much you can do about it. So on Gactor's question, actual example, finding music in something visual. I think it's just like think about imagery. So like the titles for Invent the Universe, if you think about like baryogenesis, like baryogenesis being like the event that baryonic matter came to be in the universe, is like kind of imagine it like just all this matter exploding out. So I wanted the song to kind of have that kind of explosive feel to it, you know. So that would be an example. And then, like, you know, for Senpai 3, like the future of no color, I had this imagery of like, you know, like I don't know if you guys have seen like Your Name, Kimi no Nawa by Makoto Shinkai. That movie where, like, you know, there's like sweeping, like my image in my head was like this sweeping cityscape of Tokyo, and I wanted this, like, I kind of wanted that sort of vibe of, like, you know, being lost in a big city with, like, you know, no direction kind of thing. Like, you don't really know where you're going, just kind of being swallowed whole by this massive metropolis. And that was the kind of imagery I had in my head, and I wanted the music to evoke that. So kind of I kind of wanted to like think about I basically think of an image and think about what music goes alongside it. So that's how I think about it. I don't necessarily, like, you know, look at some birds in the sky and think that, oh yeah, there's some music in this. But it kind of just it depends as well, because sometimes I hear music in my head and I work off of that. And sometimes I, you know, would work off something like a song title and then base imagery off the song title and then base the music off that imagery kind of thing. Did I ever check out the Ghosts album by 9 Inch Nails? He said that these instrumental albums are all based on that kind of thing. He wanted people to make videos of what... He wanted people to make videos of what the music makes them see. Did I listen to Ghosts by 9 Inch Nails? Ghosts 1 to 4, 6 studio album by 9 Inch Nails. I don't think I did. What 9 Inch Nails did I listen to? Because it was a long time ago. I think I listened to, like, With Teeth way back when, and Year Zero. Did I listen to Year Zero? Man, it's hard to remember. Like that was so long ago. Like, well, With Teeth was 2005. Year Zero was 2007. I don't think I listened to With Ghosts though. So yeah, I can't really comment on that. Warrior's been suspected something like that. It's very cool because I see in mind because I try to see in my mind as I listen what I think you might have saw when you wrote it. And then, like, what's the story behind 1745? He asked his girlfriend to give him a random set of numbers and he made a song out of it. Oh, that's cool. I don't think I knew that, actually. I don't know what I would do with 1745. It's just like, it is a very random set of numbers. I guess you, like, you know, make a riff with like one note and then a rest, then 7 notes and then a rest, and 4 notes and then a rest, and 5 notes and a rest. Is how I'd immediately do that. It's cool because, like, I think that when you approach music like that, you kind of place a limitation on yourself, and then, like, once you place a limitation on yourself, you kind of force yourself to be creative around the limitation, which is pretty cool. So that's definitely a way to approach making music. I'm just reading chat. He asked me a question specifically the thing, and so yeah, take off looking out a window to space in the middle of set course or Andromeda. Yeah, well, the thing is as well, is like when I think of something musically, I don't want people to see the same thing I'm thinking of. Like, I'm totally happy because it's instrumental, right? So, like, instrumental is mostly evocative. It doesn't really, it's evocative of a feeling and a vibe, but it's not concrete, unlike words and lyrics. And even then, like, lyrics can be vague. But especially with, like, instrumental music, like, you get feelings and you get vibes, but you don't necessarily, like, get a specific thing. So what I want is I basically want people to, like, look at the song title, listen to the music, and kind of come up with their own imagery in their head, and that's totally fine. Like, people can definitely come up with their own interpretations of what my music's meant to represent or what they see when they listen to my music, and that's totally fine as well. So yeah. Chord progressions, potentially. Oh, I feel like this is an ongoing thing in chat. Yeah, full song title, that plenty song. It looks like a credit card number. Imagine making a song based on your credit card number, and then like people like reverse engineer your credit card number from the song, and you're like, oh shit, people have my credit card number now. Basically, don't make songs that could be potentially reverse engineered to give out personal information. Would be the takeaway from that. I'm really worried because Streamlabs is saying Twitch is currently experiencing issues with going live. So put the sort code if you play the vinyl backwards. Yeah, I was saying Twitch is currently experiencing issues with going live. I'm hoping that the stream is still coming through okay and you guys are able to watch it fine. But I'm just wary of that. Just checking on the website and stuff like that. Okay, looks like it's okay. My stream is perfectly fine. That's good. Okay, that's good. Oh man, but it's been a quiet week. I feel like this sounds bad, but I'm just like bored. I think I said this before. I'm just like bored of lockdown life. It's like always having the option to go out and do something was nice, even if I did spend most of my time indoors just working on music or playing video games. But I'm just like, I just want the option to go out at some point. That's why I'm like hoping that, the lockdown kind of chills. Man, I feel that. Can't wait to hit the pub when this is over. I mean, I don't even want to go to a pub. I want to like... I'd love to be able to go overseas, but obviously, like, different countries have different varying rates of how they're dealing with COVID. I'd just love to like go overseas. I'd love to, I'd love to visit Korea. I've been wanting to go to Korea for a while. I want to go back to Japan. Maybe, some other countries. I don't know specifically. I'm mostly thinking like Asia, because I would just love to go back. So yeah, it would. It's just bored. I'm just, like I said, I'm just bored. Sure, interpret plenty on my own. Pleases me to take the title and the sound and try to think about what would make someone make that particular melody to describe something, which is silly in the end since it's instrumental, but it's still very fun. Yeah, I mean, like, you can do whatever you want when you listen to instrumental music, and you can have whatever interpretation or thoughts you want about it. So that's pretty cool. Do you say you're gonna listen to viewer songs sometime? Yeah, I think I will. At some point. I don't know about today. I'm just like, I feel like I'm just gonna chill today. Just, enjoy some of this whiskey. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard my review from last week, but definitely recommendation on the Lafroig lore. How's Skyrim going? Oh yeah, I mentioned it before. I'm on my 4th character now. Sticking with that character. Oh, thanks for the follow, Bosworthing. It's always like a little game to try to figure out how the names are pronounced. I think there was someone who followed like 2 hours before we go. It's like, why are all the good names taken? Hey Sithu, despite Brexit and all, I finally received my Senpai 3 CD. That's awesome, man. I was a bit delayed in getting stuff out, and like the thing about merch is like it'll always take a bit longer than, Amazon, because unfortunately I'm just one person who's trying to fit time to pack the merch and send it. Next Monday, I think, is the next time I'm sending out merch. Like, a few people have like sent me emails about like when they're expecting it. Like, you should, if you're one of those people, then you should receive notifications on Monday, and it'll be shipped on Monday. Bosworthing, but Boz is cool. Super dig your stuff. Thanks, man. What are my views on Fallout? What, as in like the phenomenon of nuclear fallout after a nuclear war, or the game series? I know you mean the game series, but I just want to ask. Yeah, they're fun as well. Like, it's just same. It's just Skyrim kind of games, but like in a different setting, right? You're just wandering around and being your own person. Fallout 4 kind of, I had a lot of fun with it, but it was also like, it felt less like the story kind of made it feel less like, your own random adventure through the wasteland. But then the Fallout games are always like, you have a specific goal in mind and this is what you need to do. So it's hard for Bethesda to like marry the sort of having a specific objective and a specific like story beat to follow versus like running around and doing whatever you want. So it is what it is. They're fun games though. They're fun to mod too. Like Fallout 4 was really nice to mod. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I really like modding Bethesda games, especially on PC. It's really easy with the new like Vortex mod manager from Nexus Mods, and you can also use Steam as well. So it's super easy to mod the games. That's the problem with mass appeal. It's always a compromise. Fallout 4 had seriously massive appeal. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, Bethesda saw that, you know, games like Skyrim were way more popular with people, so of course they're going to keep making games of that, because in the end, they're a business, and they want to make as much money as possible, so they're going to make games that appeal to as many people as possible. And, you know, there's always merit in mass appeal, but there's also merit in focusing on a particular niche, because that, you know, that's what, like, the Souls games did. Imagine Pliny doing Twitch stream chats. I mean, I have no idea what Pliny would be like as a streamer. It'd be cool to see him try it. If I start getting guests on, I think he'd be one of the people I'd like to get on a conversation. But I'd love to, like, not talk about music, if that makes sense. I think I said this before, but if I got guests on, I'd like to just, like, not talk about music, and we could just talk about, like, you know, just random shit. Maybe after the pandemic, though, so that, you know, people are actually able to do things. Although maybe he's in Australia, though, so, like, you know, they have a pretty good down there with regards to the pandemic, so maybe he's able to actually do interesting things and not, you know, just be inside all the time. Have you seen the Skyrim mod that changes all the dragons to Macho Man Randy Savage? Oh, man, I saw that way back when I saw that first Donkey video. Like, Donkey made a video called Ultimate Skyrim, and that video just made me fucking lose my shit, and that's, like, what introduced me to video game Donkey. So, I've not watched his videos in a while, but, like, I remember finding all that old stuff hilarious. Have I played Cyberpunk 2077? Really enjoying it. Yeah, I played it on launch. I finished it within, like, 48 hours, I think. 48 hours, like, 3 days, I think I finished the game. I really enjoyed my time with Cyberpunk. I just kind of, I just think, like, obviously it just was not really finished. So I'm gonna give the game a break and give Cyberpunk time. Like, but I'm gonna give CD Projekt time to fix whatever internal issues they have, and, you know, deal with the hack, because they got hacked recently, so they couldn't, you know, put in their 1.02 patch and whatever. So I think it's just a case of waiting for them to actually work on the game more, because I think it's pretty clear that they had a lot of issues developing that game. A lot of people were, like, vitriolic as well, but it is yeah, I don't know. I can't be that angry over a video game. So, what do you think of a tropey parody of an isekai in instrumental album form? How would I do an isekai album? Man, I feel like it'd have to be like a senpai spin-off or something. Or you could just go with my headcanon and, like, Set Course Andromeda is an isekai of Senpai 3, and the Space Cadets are actually just the Senpai girls, and they just, you know, got lost on the way to Andromeda. So, yeah. Cyberpunk feels like it's going to be really great in a year or two for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like with enough development, the game will be great. It's just the thing that, like, you kind of hope that they, you know, would have finished it first before releasing it, but yeah. That's an insane headcanon. I mean, like, you know, I've spitballed various, like, things, like, you know, the Space Cadets and Set Course from Andromeda are actually, like, the descendants of the Senpai girls, or, you know, there's some massive technological revolutions and they are just the Senpai girls. And then that's just, like, variation 3. Yeah, the Senpai girls are just isekai'd into the Set Course from Andromeda universe and just, you know, get put in a spaceship and blast off, and before they know it, they're in Andromeda breaking the Prime Directive. Ah, man, I have a dumb imagination. I don't even know why, like, any of that would be relevant to any of my music, but, you know, I just thought of it. But I mean, like, you know, that imagination helped me to come up with a story and characters for, like, Senpai EPs and Senpai 3 as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'll take it. This whiskey is so good. I don't know if you guys like whiskey, but it's so good. Well, this one particularly. I'm thinking going from students to space warriors in some way would be cool. Over here, imagining a podcast with musicians when there's penalty for some sort of talking about music. Yeah, we can make it a drinking game. Like, time zones would be difficult. If you're in the same area, it'd be good. But, like, anytime, like, you got musicians and you've got a podcast and you have to, like, not talk about music. Anytime anybody talks about music, you have to take a drink. Or you have to, like, I don't know. donate $5 to a charity or something. Like we could totally make it a game show kind of thing. Because I feel like it's really cool doing interviews and podcasts and stuff, but like the questions are all about the music things, and maybe people don't care to hear about the non-music views and worldviews of musicians. But I think it'd be really cool to dig into who like musicians are as people, and you know what they think about things, and you know, especially like something happens like the Mars landing, you can ask them, you know, what they think of the Mars landing. Do they even like think about stuff like that? Does it, you know, does it interest them, that kind of stuff? And I think it'd be really cool to go in that format. You would watch that? It would devolve pretty quickly if it was a drinking game. Or it depends on, you know, how interested musicians are in their own music. Because sometimes a musician, like, you know, they like creating music, and they, you know, they like releasing it, and they just hate talking about it. So it just depends. It's not a bad idea. I've not watched any documentaries really. I watch a lot of documentary style content on YouTube though. Like I watch channels like, you know, Wendover, Curse Kazat, Real Life Lore. I already said Wendover. And there's like loads of channels by a guy called Simon Wisser. Like he does like, you know, geographics, mega projects, biographics. Like he has a billion channels, but I mostly watch like, you know, informational documentary style stuff on YouTube. Also channels like PBS Spacetime, Smarter Every Day, Veritasium. I'll watch all those channels. Sure, you've been asked this question many times before, but I haven't seen the answer. Do you have a favorite song of mine, album? I mean, it's really hard to say. I feel like every album of mine is like a reflection of myself as a songwriter, musician, and person at that time. Especially since like they all come out at like, you know, they've all come out different years. I have a soft spot for Set Course for Andromeda because that was the album I released just before I quit my job, and that was like a big turning point because I quit my job to do music full time, and that was like a, you know, really important like transformative moment. But apart from that, it's hard to say. Like I'm really bad at picking favorites. So someone said, "What's my favorite album from 2020?" First, I have to figure out what albums I listened to in 2020 and be like, can I pick a favorite? Yeah. I know we can talk about time relativity. You know, man. Relativity is a tough one. Maybe we'll get to that. Maybe. I'm curious to see what a day in the life of an artist is like. I don't believe that 8 to 12 hours a day spent playing guitar. The evolution is half the fun. Yeah, I mean, like, also, I just saw something cursed in chat. K's cooking. Oh god. K's cooking. That is a curse. I saw K's cooking, and I saw Critical's reactions to K's cooking. I mean, bless her soul, she's trying, but like, man, she cooks up some abominations. She really, really does. Oh man, my stomach and eyes are upset just thinking about K's cooking. If you guys haven't seen it, it's like this northern lady. She seems lovely, but she tries cooking stuff, and it's like she's got a son named Lee, and I think like he just tries everything, and he must have like no taste buds left because he's like, oh yeah, this is great, and it's just like, you've literally like put in rice without boiling it into a pan to make a stir fry. It's like, oh man. So my day to day is usually I just wake up and I, you know, hang out on my Discord server, and I, you know, sometimes play guitar, and I sometimes play video games. If I've got merch to pack, I'll deal with merch. It's I don't really have a schedule. So the reality of the situation is like I live off of royalties essentially. So like, you know, people buy the music on Bandcamp, and you know, they buy merch for sure. But most of the time, you know, I get a chunk of money each month from, you know, money from streams and money from Patreon and stuff like that. So like my living costs essentially are covered by royalties and, you know, people buying the music. So I'm not under any pressure to create anything. So I'm kind of just like, it's been 2 months since Senpai EP came out pretty much. I've just kind of taking it easy since then. I might look into start, you know, ramping up into writing something, you know, end of this month or something. But the reality is, it's like I take it easy most of the time. One of the perks about being a self-employed, like independent musician, is that like I have a lot of freedom and a lot of independence, so I can kind of just do things as I see fit. So I do spend some time practicing writing, practicing piano, thinking about like, I often think about, what's going to go into the next release and stuff like that, but my day's kind of whatever my day, whatever I want my day to be. What about parallel universes? Do I believe in them? Parallel realities. So there's actually a quantum mechanical theory that like every single, like, the Schrodinger's cat thing is like when you open the box to check whether the cat is alive or dead, in your universe it might be alive, but in another parallel universe it might be dead. And like there's a theory called the many worlds theory where that says that every single time you do a quantum mechanical experiment, or like there's a quantum mechanical set of outcomes, every single outcome is represented by a different universe. And it's like, basically, we haven't gotten the maths to work to explain what this is physically, and we don't know what it is, and the experiments don't tell us, so we just have to guess. Love your music. I still need Senpai 3. I mean, like, you can go check it out. It's all there. Welcome to the stream, Senpai 6 God. 6 God. Have I not wrote a new song since Senpai? I mean, I've wrote a few songs on stream for you guys. Actually, like, doing the streaming stuff has added a lot of structure, and like I said, like the cool thing about doing the music streams is that I'm writing music that's different to what I normally do. So it's it's fresh, it's new, and like there's the whole aspect of having to do it in front of other people. So there's that about the streaming stuff. So that's definitely added some structure for sure, and it's just cool because normally I wouldn't like finish those projects, but because I'm doing on stream, I can, I'm kind of incentivized to finish those projects and, actually finish those songs and do something different. Did the cooking stream idea fall by the wayside? Well, I think it did because I'm mostly streaming in the evening, around like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. my time. And like I wouldn't be cooking at that time. I usually cook early in the day. So, yeah. Parallel universes wreck my head, but it's interesting as hell. I mean, like, I don't tend to think about it too much. I think of, like, because, like, there's no real evidence that it really affects us, whereas something like special relativity or, like, time dilation and stuff, like, we know that affects us. Like, GPS satellites have to take in, like, special relativity and time dilation into account, otherwise they wouldn't be accurate. So if you think about it, like, whenever you're using Google Maps and you've got GPS satellites telling where you are, they're all running, like, they all have atomic clocks, and they have, like, relativistic calculations running in their programming so that their location data is accurate, which is fucked to think about, but yeah. Hakairis, thanks for the follow. Yeah, it's it's crazy, and like I can't remember which effect is more prominent. So there's two effects going on. So the one of the effects is like the speed that the satellites are traveling, because they're orbiting the Earth at like 15,000 miles an hour, but then they also are subject to like 10% less gravity than if you're on the Earth, and I can't remember which effect is more prominent. So Alcapa, thank you for the Prime sub. Really appreciate it, man. Pronounce it right. There we go. Sometimes I don't fuck up. Sometimes I actually say the name on of people in Twitch chat right. Learning physics. I mean, I could talk about physics all night. If you guys give me like a topic on physics and I know something about it, I can talk about it. The one thing I won't be able to do is the maths. Like, the maths goes away really quickly. Like, if you stop doing the math, like, I noticed this when I was at university. Over my summer breaks, between, like, moving from, like, my third year into my fourth year or whatever, I would just forget all the maths. Like, stuff that was considered basic, like, just calculus and stuff, like, I just forgot it. If I wasn't doing it every day. It was really rough. So, but I think I get it mostly on a conceptual level. I also watch a lot of science content on YouTube, like I said before. Like, a lot of those channels, like, explain the science behind everything. So, I can talk about it conceptually, but, like, just don't ask me about the maths. But yeah, that's the parallel universes thing is weird because, like, it's like a abstraction of an interpretation of quantum mechanics, whereas the general relativity thing with, like, is measurable and is real. I didn't do maths between school and uni. I had to go back and read my GCS revision books, and I was like, what the fuck? I used to know this. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff you've, like, I don't know if you guys ever, like, felt this way or heard people expressing this kind of sentiment. It's like, why don't they teach kids useful stuff in school? Like, why do they have to learn stuff like, quadratic equations and, calculus and all this kind of math. It feels so useless. And it's just like, I get the sentiments. Like, maybe you want to teach your kids how to, you know, do taxes and stuff for that. But I feel a lot of the education system is around, like, you know, I think the most important thing is learning how to think. And problem solving is one of those ways that we try to teach people how to think. So you teach them a methodology for doing something, then you wrap it up in a different way. So you know the methodology, but you need to access the problem because it's presented in a different way. And that's like problem solving. I feel like problem solving and like critical thinking is something that's very useful in everyday life. And I feel like that's where people kind of like don't get it with regards to stuff like maths. But it's hard to see it because like when you're a teenager and you're like, you know, the last thing you want to be working on is like, you know, integral calculus, and you want to be doing and literally anything else. It's a hard sell. You must have seen Cosmos. Is something you like it more recent? There's the second Cosmos, the whatchamacallit, the Neil deGrasse Tyson Cosmos. But like I said, it's mostly just YouTube stuff that I watch, man. Like I said, PBS Spacetime is probably one of the best channels for science and space stuff. I hated algebra. I can't imagine calculus. I mean, it's like when I did my physics degree, I definitely saw how useful all the calculus was. I just didn't like ever doing it. It's application. They didn't teach practical application. Mathematics pop up very often in every life. We're just not trained to see it. Yeah, it's like the thing about the application though is like I feel like I'm some people need to be sold on the application before they can learn the theory, and then some people need to learn the theory before they can see the application. Everybody works different. Music's actually like quite similar to that. Like a lot of people learn music very practically, like just doing, and then they learn the theory later, or you know they don't know what the theory is, but they kind of learn by, you know, lots of trial and error what the theory is, but they can't say it in words. And then you have people who say stuff like they don't need to know music theory, even though like everything they play follows some kind of musical theory rule. So there's that. Watching a lot of SETI presentations, that's trying to find intelligent life. Yeah, that's another wild one actually, like whether there's intelligent life in the galaxy or not, because like all the possibilities are equally scary. Also, Rem is the best waifu 3333. We have a Rem fan. In just following. Slam the keys. Do I slam the keys? What key is this in? This is in B flat. That is not going through. Oh. There we go. I won't do that again. Slam it with my fist. I personally learned theory first and figured out applications for it later. Yeah, I mean, I've done a mix of everything. I learned guitar very practically, and then I learned the theory afterwards. And I found like I kind of wish I knew the theory before, but yeah. Can we do a poll? Emilia versus Ram versus Rem. Sure. Let's do a poll. I'm trying to bring up the webcam and corner view, so straw poll. Best Re-Zero waifu. Emilia. Ram. Not dying all the time. There you go. There's your straw poll. Oh, I actually haven't watched season 2, so I don't know. I don't know Echidna, but let's just go season 1. Like that's what we have. Run the frickin' poll. Yeah, I've not watched a lot of season 2 animes that I need to watch. I need to watch like Attack on Titan season 4 as well, and like My Hero Academia and like Food Wars. There's a lot of stuff I need to catch up on. That's where I am right now. Self-taught guitarist who disregarded theory until very recent, and man, I wish I did it the other way. Yeah, I mean the thing about theory is like I feel like it's just putting words to stuff that you already know if you play guitar for a while. So So yeah. I'm gonna be uncontroversial, so you guys don't know. And now I'm gonna rickroll you. I only know Amelia because of our anime a few years ago. Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like Rem and Amelia, like, all the... Okay, so people are either about Rem or not dying all the time. The funny thing is, like, Amelia is voiced by the same person who voices Megumin from Konosuba. And a lot of people like Megumin, so it's just one of those things. Also, people ask me, like, what is your favorite, like... who's your Evangelion waifu? And I'm just like, okay, I'm going to show you something about Evangelion. Also, the new movie's coming out, which is really cool. So, here's the thing about Evangelion. Age. And then Misato Katsuragi. Age. I just have to say Misato. For no particular reason. Just have to say Misato. Evangelion came out today in Japan. New BBs came out in Monday, Japan. Misato Monday. Yeah. So yeah, no reason in particular. I'm gonna say Misato. She's born December 8th, 1986. Wait, that literally doesn't add up. Okay. I'll take their word for it that 1986 equals 43. Wait, no, maybe the movie's set. I was thinking about this year. No, that movie's obviously set later. Rebuild timeline is one heck of... I don't even remember what happened in the Rebuild movies, man. Like, it's been so long ago since I watched them. Like, when did the last one come out? Rebuild of Evangelion. The last one came out in 2012. That was a long time ago. Because I remember watching these movies, but I don't remember anything that happens in them. And I remember, like, the first two were kind of, like, the same, and then the third one was just like, yo, fuck you. So, yeah. So I'm hoping it's kind of just like, you know, we're just going to get Yoko Taro to get some, like, weird Nier Automata shit. Because I think that's the only thing that would make it interesting at this point. Also, like, this naming scheme. I'm not going to read the plot. Shit. But yeah, that naming scheme. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 thrice upon a time. Like, Japan, come on. Just call it 4. Please, just call it 4. Like, we don't need this in our lives. Gotta leave. Have a good stream. Thank you very much for hanging out, dude. Calculus, man. Thrice upon a time is a reference to some book I just read. I mean, I don't know. It's just like... It's like light novel titles, man. Light novel titles in Japan are wild. It's just like, let's just put 2 sentences together and that'll be the name of our light novel. And it's like... Yeah, it's no wonder people, like, shorten titles to, like, Konosuba. Because, like, even Konosuba has got a really long fucking title. And even then, it's not as bad. Like, Konosuba is a what? Konosuba Subarashi Konosubarashi Sekai ni Shufuku O. U's in Japanese always get me. U sounds in Japanese always get me. But yeah, like, even that's like tame. Then you have, like, Snafu. Like, my teen romantic comedy Snafu. It's like, Yahari ore no seishun rabukome wa machigaiteru. It's like, cool, catchy title. Super catchy. Yeah, it's sick. It's a good anime, but, like, shite title. Oh no, my favorite guitarist made an instrumental album, an instrumental anime-inspired album in another world too. Okay, but what about Cloud Kicker song titles like "He would be riding on the subway" or "Writing formulas on the blackboard" or "Having a meal" as now sitting and talking to someone across the table as would envelop him in the soundless tsunami? Are they really that bad? Let's check out Cloud Kicker's Bandcamp. I'm glad you still have a sense of humor. If I wouldn't, if I were you. Okay, so those aren't too bad. Where's the other more releases? They're not too bad. I can't believe this space girl from the Sombrero Galaxy is teleported to my bedroom and is now running to become the president of the USA. Pretty common title length, yeah. His Subsume album was almost the worst offender. Okay, well, these are just dates, so I guess they were just loops, I guess. Yeah, the clue was in the title. A weather front was stalled out in the Pacific. He would be riding on the subway, and it would envelop him like a soundless tsunami. Okay, so they're pretty long, but they're not quite like Japanese light novel light novel titles. Favorite anime OP? I think I already said like my favorite whatever questions. Like I don't do favorite questions. I can't answer those questions that easily. I suck with favorite questions. Okay, no, somebody was right. I looked at the 2020 remaster because yeah, okay. He would be riding on the subway or writing formulas on the backboard and having a meal as or now. There you go. Very fair. Top few that come to mind. I'm gonna cop out and just say Tank, Cowboy Bebop, and Cruel Angel's Thesis, Evangelion, because none of you said modern ones. Yoko Kanno though, she's fucking great. There's a really cool cover video of the Cruel Angel's Thesis on YouTube as well, which is cool. But like in terms of like anime openings, like I kind of don't really look into the artists or like the names of the openings. I just kind of listen to music ideas for things I can steal for future Senpai EPs. But obviously, like now I'm kind of like I don't know if there's gonna be any more Senpai releases after Senpai 3. So maybe I'll just maybe I'll actually pay attention and, you know, see what's actually in the anime openings in terms of like, you know, who are they buying, you know, the artist. It's not theft, it's flattery. I mean, okay, so here's the thing about stealing music from other people. What you have to do is like, if you straight up just steal a song, that requires like no effort because you're just taking what's already there. If you take 20 songs from 20 different artists and you steal something from all of them and put them together, you're going to have something that's completely different from all those 20 artists. And they might allude to, and there might be, you know, influences from those artists. But if you take it for 20 artists and 20 different songs and put them together, that's no longer the individual things of those 20 artists. It's now your style. So I've always been an advocate for stealing from other artists as long as you steal from as many of them as possible and actually, you know, mold them together into your own style. If you're not adding anything, you're a scumbag. I mean, like, if you're not adding anything, it's just like shit, theft, right? But like the one of the creative processes of writing music is you know, it's like trying to take things from many artists that you like and then combining them into, you know, something that you could call your own music. Sithu stolen animals leaders stuff is fantastic and transformative. I mean, like I always like it's huge. Like that was like a very on the nose reference, and I like very much like. I mean, I literally learned how to thump just to meme. So yeah. Extra points if you steal from widely different genres. Yeah, like different genres definitely help. And good writers borrow, great writers steal. T.S. Eliot. So there you go. We're all justifying our creative bankruptcy and taking from other artists. Picklebits, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Oh man. I mean, I think a lot of people say the same thing. It's just a case of like, you know, actually applying it. I've stolen C2's Isle of Mal for a couple of my lo-fi tracks. Okay, so to be fair, the Isle of Mal was in has apparently been in a lot of Japanese music, and I don't know where I specifically got the idea for it, but like, because it's really easy to just play 4 notes chromatically, right? But I just didn't realize it was just so prominent in like a lot of Japanese video game music, like in Final Fantasy and like Zelda. Apparently, it's just everywhere. So, I mean, I would like to claim that I, you know, like 5-headed that and like stole some of that so that I could use it for my own music, but it was just an accident, genuinely. Yeah, I was gonna. You're right though. Like if you actually put in the work and like try to combine your influences, then you will just end up sounding like yourself, whatever that may be. I mean, like for me, it's like it's one of the things where I've been writing before I released Cassini, for instance. I started playing guitar in 2012. No, 2002. Sorry, 2012. Jesus Christ, that'd be a year after Cassini. That'd be some like time travel shit. I started playing guitar in 2002. And I released Cassini in 2011, so I'd already been playing guitar for 9 years by that point. So I've had, you know, even like discounting the fact that like, you know, the first couple of years of you just learning how to like actually, you know, play the instrument mechanically. Like there's 9 years of time where you're, you know, learning things and absorbing things, and that becomes what your music is after that many years, and that's what Cassini was. And even then, Cassini was like really derivative, right? Like Cassini had a lot of influences that were very like direct from artists at the time, like Animals, Leaders, and Periphery, and Tesseract, and stuff like that. And like even Chimp Spanner, like there was a lot of direct like inspiration from those artists. But I mean, even going back then, like I wouldn't change anything about Cassini because it was, you know, like I said before, like I can't pick favorites because each album is like a reflection of my own writing and my own progress as a musician at that time. But yeah, just steal everything. Chimp Spanner's so good. I'm so happy that he's releasing stuff again, man. Super happy. So cool to hear Chimp Spanner stuff, because like for me, it's like At the Dream's Edge was one of the albums that like got me over the edge to actually releasing Cassini. So always has a special place in my heart, that album. So if you ever see Chimp Spanner posting about new music, I highly recommend all of you to just, you know, immediately follow and throw the guy some love, because it's been so long since like, you know, he started. It's been so long really since he released stuff. Like the last official release before the last 2 singles was like his EP in 2014 or 2013? I cannot remember. Let's look it up. Chimp Spanner. So I mean, 2010. So this album's 11 years old. All Roads Lead Here was 2012. Fuck. It's even longer than I thought. I thought this was like 2013, 14. But no, 2012. So like, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Like, this gap is really painful for me, because it would have been amazing to hear more Chimp Spanner stuff between 2012 and 2021 that wasn't just like on SoundCloud. But like, no, it is what it is. Like, he's obviously had to deal with his own stuff, and you know, everybody, like, one of the biggest inhibitors to like writing music is just your own life circumstances and like what you need to do for work and what you need to do to make ends meet as well, and like, you know, dedicating time towards actually doing music stuff. So it is what it is. But yeah, like, it's like I'm never gonna not talk about the impact that like his early releases had. It was At the Dream's Edge, and then there was also Cosmogenesis by Gru. I've talked about that before in stream, but also really highly influential album on my early writing, and also making me actually wanting to release something. Yeah, Cosmogenesis, man, what an album. The Mirror is really good. Also, Dream Theater is The Mirror as well. We got lots of good songs named The Mirror. Then The Man in the Mirror. Was that Michael Jackson? Man in the Mirror? Man in the Mirror. Yeah, Michael Jackson. Lots of good songs named Mirror, with the word mirror in it. Oh, man. Yeah. It's good to remember the things that influence you. I think I always like to go back and check out some of the stuff that was a big influence and like was really formative for my guitar playing and writing, and also just stuff that made me just think like, I can do this too. Like I wanna do something myself. Cosmogenesis came out October 2010. Holy shit. We are old, man. Like, I mean, I'm no spring chicken now, I'm turning 31 this year. It's like, fuck, what have I actually done? And like, if I'm thinking straight, like I've managed to do quite a lot in my short time on this planet already. So I'm definitely been really lucky to be able to have done the things that I've done and experience the things that I've had, and be able to have the career that I have right at the moment. So I'm not going to take anything for granted. I think that's just good advice in general. Just don't take anything for granted, and just be grateful for everything. Be grateful for all the things that you have, all the people in your life, all that kind of good shit. You're the same age as me. Yeah, it is bound to happen, right? You went back in time when you first started playing guitar. Which anime would you have watched knowing? Which anime would you not have watched knowing what you know about now about anime? No regrets. No regrets. Let's write that out in big words for everybody in the back. I'm gonna open up Notepad. Word wrap. Fonts. Here's gonna be the theme. No regrets. We're gonna own it. We're gonna go back in time and know that I'm gonna subject the world to 3 anime releases, and I'm gonna be like, no regrets. We're gonna still do it. Like, we could have been the bullet that killed anime Hitler, but we're still gonna let him live anyway, because like, that's a really bad fucking analogy, Jesus. I turned 25 last May. I've spent my 25 year inside. Yeah, I mean, it's the same for a lot of us as well. It's like I spent my 30th year just inside. It sucks. But, it's the kind of story, like, in 30 years' time, you'll be telling, your kids or, your nieces and nephews, you're going to be like, I lived through, like, the worst pandemic in modern history. It's going to be like, it's obviously like, it's kind of tragic because like so many people lost their lives to it, but like it's also going to be one of those things where we're going to tell stories about it. Bad analogy, yeah, okay. Any hentais, any regrets? No, we're gonna own it. No regrets. Own the bad stuff. Don't even say that in chat. People look at, like, they see all the Boku Piku memes, and like somebody's not gonna know what it is, and they're gonna look at it and be like, why was that even talked about? We're not busting out the Boku memes. No. Okay, so let's do something like on that thing. So top 10 C2A career mistakes. Number 1, Senpai EP. There you go. Gotta shut it down quickly. Absolutely. Just focus on my mistakes. Like, just look at the screen here and just be like, these are the mistakes. If you can avoid these mistakes, then you can be a successful guitarist. Actually, no. Like, I love Senpai P. Like, I always meme it though. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but like rules. Like. There you go. Did I spell deprecating right? That's deprecating. So these are rules for being Scottish. Yeah. Number... let's not talk about that. Hate the English and be self-deprecating. And the first one's a joke. I don't really hate the English, but definitely being Scottish, self-deprecation is like essential. You wanna self-deprecate all the time. And you don't even have to like whiskey to be Scottish. Like, there are plenty of Scottish people that don't like whiskey. I feel like whiskey is definitely an acquired taste. Oh, we have my French mod saying follow the Old Alliance. The Old Alliance was an alliance between Scotland and France. Old is how Scottish people... It's like Scots for old. The Old Alliance. The Old Alliance. Founded 23rd of October 1295. Dissolved in 1590. So the Scots and the French were allies for a long time. I like whiskey as well. Yeah, it's like I said, it's an acquired taste. I like... When you tell somebody that they need to drink, like, 40 to 50% like spirits straight, it's a hard sell for a lot of people. A lot of people are used to drink, like, mixing their spirits. I guess, like, do Americans say liquor instead of spirits? Like, correct me if I'm wrong. So when I say spirits, we mean like stuff like gin, vodka, whiskey, rum. I don't know if that's liquor. I'm assuming like beer and stuff doesn't count as liquor in America. Okay, cool. So spirits, liquor, like trying to tell somebody that, like, okay, here's this liquor / spirit. Drink it straight without any mixer. All you're allowed is a little bit of water. Yeah, I feel like booze is like a more catch-all term. Liquor is anything above a certain percentage. Okay, that makes sense. The same for spirits here. Funny story, like, so you know how not funny story, but like sort of moderately tangential to this is how you know how we describe things like booze and liquor and spirits in Japan. When we think of sake, we think of like Japanese rice wine. But in Japan, sake is a term that's a catch-all for alcohol. So when you say you're drinking sake, you just mean like you just want alcohol. You're not being specific. So the more you know. Me personally, I'm a Japanese beer guy. Could drink it like water. Japanese beers are great. Asahi is good. There was also like dark Asahi that like was available in the Japanese restaurant in my town, my city. And also, why am I blanking on Japanese beers? It's been that long since I drank them. Hello, Alex Kelly. We are pogging the fuck out. We're just chilling and talking about booze and Japanese liquor. Yeah, it was one of the first words I learned in Japanese. Thank you, Duolingo. Yeah, it's like you wouldn't think about it, but like in Japan, it's like I think it's like Nihonshu, and even then, it's like really specific. But I think it's like shu is like the term for that kind of rice wine. Thoughts on highballs? My only thoughts on highballs is like I remember last time I was in Japan, I was meeting one of my friends, and we went to this like craft beer place in Shibuya. It was a relatively early night, but we went to this craft beer place. We had some craft beers and ate some food, and like I think before I know it was like 2 a.m. in Shibuya, and we're just like drinking highballs in a random izakaya. It just happened. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on highballs. Strong Zero. I didn't have Strong Zero, no. But I had lots of highballs. I had one of those, like, 2-pinters. Like, I don't know if you guys like know, like, you know, those big fucking like German style like beer mugs that like we call them like 2-pint steins in the UK, I think. But I had one of those, but it was just a highball. I think I shared it with my friend. I can't remember. But it was a big highball. It was the highest ball. Prefer the beer. Devil's Craft was a good place for craft beer. I can't remember what place we went to in Shibuya, but there's a really good, cool craft beer place that we went to. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know if I forgot these rules here, but this is quite important because I use self-deprecating humor a lot, and I actually like some people are just like, oh no, you're actually like don't say that about yourself. You're actually, you know, great at this. I'm just like, it doesn't really matter if I am or not. It's just like, it's just my sense of humor. Like, Scottish people are incredibly self-deprecating. So if you ever meet any Scottish people and they make jokes about themselves and they make jokes about each other, they're not, they don't actually hate themselves, although they might, but they're most likely being self-deprecating. What's the price of beer in Scotland? Because in Japan I find it expensive. If I'm out going to a bar, I probably expect to pay about £3.50 for a pint. £3.50 to £5 for a pint. So I feel like that terminology is like completely lost on people, but like okay, let's go pounds to dollars. So let's say I found a place and it has £3.80 pints. So first off, there you go. £3.80 is about $5.30. And I'm assuming most of the people in the chat who aren't from the UK are from America. And for euros, it's pretty much 1-to-1 with pounds. And then pint is pints to... There we go. Pints to fluid ounces. So, imperial pint, 19 ounces, and then 568 milliliters. Drinking games common in the UK. Yeah, I mean, for university students, for sure. Like, when I was in university, we played drinking games all the time. Like, King's Cup and Never Have I Ever and Ring of Fire, all that good shit. Drinking games are pretty common in the UK. Oh, thank you for the bits, Jeremy. 300 bits. I have no idea what the conversion rate for bits is, but thank you. Is the euro still acceptable tender in the UK? The euro's never been acceptable tender in the UK. You can't actually use euros at all. And especially now since we're not in the European Union, but like the euro's never been acceptable tender. The UK's always been pound. Actually, the UK's actually had different banknotes for different countries. So let me get these up because there are different banknotes in different countries in the UK. English banknotes. Let's see. Do they have pictures? They don't have pictures. Oh, I'm disappointed. Okay, let's go Google Images. So, these are like English banknotes. Then if you go Scottish banknotes, we actually have 3 different banks. So you have the Bank of England. So the Bank of England has its own banknotes, but in Scotland we have got 3 different banks that mint notes. So we have the Bank of Scotland, the Royal Bank of Scotland, and then Clydesdale Bank, and they all mint notes. So you see, you got Clydesdale Bank here, then you got Bank of Scotland here, then you got the Royal Bank of Scotland. Those are the old non-plastic notes. So we have like 4 different notes already in the UK, if you include Scotland. And then you have Northern Irish banknotes, and they have their own banks as well. They got Bank of Ireland and all this shit. So, and they got Ulster Bank. So you could theoretically come across into like 6 different versions of the same note in the UK. So yeah, not confusing at all. But none of those are euros. California's expensive. Nowhere can you get a beer for $5. Dude, I fucking asked for a bottle of beer in a New York venue when I was playing a show in New York, and they charged me $9, and I wanted to throw myself at a window. I was just like, $9 for a fucking bottle of beer. Like, daylight fucking robbery is what we call that in Scotland, mate. Away with that shite. Only experience of the UK was Heathrow. Heathrow is like an interesting place to be. I've been to Heathrow far too many times. So when I used to work for my old job, one of my projects was in Reading. And if you don't know where Reading is, let's show you where Reading is. Okay, I gotta go Google Maps, but like not dox myself. So okay, here we go. Here, I can get cheap beer in LA. I mean, you can like I bought a load of cheap beer at like a liquor store, but I'm assuming like at a bar is gonna be expensive. Specifically Heathrow Airport. I never left the terminal. That's fair. Okay, so here's Reading. So the project that I was working at my old company was here. So I'd be flying into Heathrow. So I would get a flight in the morning on Monday from Glasgow Airport to London Heathrow, which is here. Then I would get a bus from Heathrow to Reading, and that would be me until Thursday. And then Thursday evening, I would get the bus from Reading to Heathrow Airport and then fly from Heathrow to Glasgow. And that was me every single week for like, I don't know how many weeks I was on that project. Like, I want to say like 6 to 7 weeks I was on that project. And I was just like, I mean, that's hell on earth. Like, waking up at like, 4:30 or 5 in the morning to get like a 7 a.m. flight to London on Mondays, and I'm getting back home at like 11:30 on Thursday. I was just like, and then like the company that I was doing the project on in Reading, like there was some fucking Game of Thrones shit going on in the IT department. Like there was some serious like company politics shit. I was just like, ugh, man. If you can avoid working a corporate job, avoid it, because like, ugh. But yeah, that was my travel. I would travel Glasgow to London Heathrow, and I was in London Heathrow pretty much every single week for about 2 months. So that was yeah. Beer is very cheap here. I live near St. Louis, where Budweiser's made. That's cool. Star bars wherever got you. That's cool too. Sometimes it do be like that. Yeah, man. It's just one of the things is I never got corporate culture. It's like there are people who who work in corporate who are just like, they're just insane. They get up at like 6 in the morning and check their emails, and they're like, they do like 3 meetings by the time 9 o'clock in the morning comes around, and they work until 8 o'clock, and then they have like client dinners and all this kind of shit. I'm just like, fuck that, man. Like, I want to live my own life. Like, screw that shit. My other project was in fucking Wakefield, of all places, which is here. So it actually, like, I'd get a train, and like the train from was broken from Glasgow direct because of a bridge collapse in Carlisle, which is here. So I actually had to get a train, which is an extra hour, go Glasgow, Edinburgh, and then go down to Wakefield here. And that train was 4.5 hours. So I'd spend 9 hours on a train every single week commuting to Glasgow to Wakefield and back. And that was me for another like 6 weeks. And you know the funny part about that project was that I had fuck all work to do. They had literally nothing for me to do in that project. I was traveling 9 hours a week to manage a fucking spreadsheet. Why I couldn't do that remotely, I don't know. But, they insisted I work on that project. I had no say in this as well when I was working at my old job. And I was just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to quit. And I'm going to go tour Japan and release that course from Andromeda. And yeah, the rest is history, as they say. Big Worm says, I got about 18 months of corpo work left and semi-retirement abroad for a couple of years. Dude, living the dream, man. Get that 18 months out, it'll fly by, and then, like, just live your best life afterwards. Because, like, it requires a certain, like, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but, like, you see all these things about, like, productivity and stuff like that. And people talk about, how to be a more productive person and all that stuff. And I feel like that kind of productivity advice is a meme by hyper-productive people to sell us less productive people to make us feel bad to buy their fucking productivity courses. Because, like, not everybody's built like that. Like, not everybody can, like, allocate a task to every hour of the every day kind of thing. And sure, there's ways to be more productive, for sure. But, I don't know, man. Like, part of me is just like, it's okay to be lazy. It's okay to take it easy sometimes. Like, if you're switched on in the same way that your body needs rest after exercise, in the same way that you need sleep at the end of every single day, you gotta you gotta take times to turn off. And like some days, like I will have like literal head empty, brain off days. Like I will literally could not tell you what I did during a day, and that's fine. Like it's totally fine. Productivity is overrated. Here in my garage. Some people say I look like that guy. Not the here in my garage guy. What's he called? Here in my garage guy. What's he called? Ty Lopez. Do I look like Ty Lopez? I mean, nobody's ever seen me and Ty Lopez in a room together, so maybe we are the same person. Am I the same? Like... Okay, there's me and there's Ty Lopez. Who's the other person that people say I look like? The guy from Rooster Teeth. Oh, what's his name? There's a guy from Rooster Teeth apparently who looks like me. Gus, I think it's Gus. Is that me? Do you guys see the similarity? Gus Cirola. I actually like freaked some people out because I changed my profile picture to this on my Discord server, and like people were really upset, like unsettled because it kind of looked like me, but it wasn't me. And like, yeah, it was really unsettling for them. Which is weird because like I'm an Asian dude and like Gus is like a Hispanic American dude, so like there's like literally zero crossover between like our heritages, but apparently that was a thing that people thought. How did we get to me looking like Gus? Oh, it's because people like we're talking about productivity. So the funny thing is like I obviously like, you know, self-identify very heavily as Scottish, and I've got the dots like. Where is there a command for a website? Yeah, so I got the .scot domain. You know, I'm very much an advocate of all things Scottish, despite the fact I'm wearing the neat t-shirt. I don't know, I didn't even shout this out. I'm wearing the classic neat t-shirt today. But yeah, like I'm an immigrant to Scotland. Like I moved here in 2012, so like it wasn't even the first country I lived in when I first moved out away from Burma. But the thing about Scottish people is they don't care. Like, so many Scottish people, like, I don't know, like, if you've heard stories about, like, you know, people, like, some rough-looking people, and they're just like, you know, oh, look at this guy. He doesn't look like he's from where he's from. I kid you not, like, almost every single time that's happened, anytime I've just spoken, and I've just spoken in a Scottish accent, dudes are just like, oh, I mean, it's what Scotland is, fine, me, oh, nae bother me, oh, sorry, me, I was just heading that way anyway, I just didn't, have a good night, me, oh, God bless me. And it's just that. So I'm very much just at home here, and my accent is variable as well. So depending on who I'm speaking to in Scotland, and when I'm speaking to all of you wonderful fellas and ladies in Twitch chat, I'm gonna tone down the accent so it's not too difficult to understand. But if I come across people in the street in Glasgow, I'm much more likely to be a bit more harsh with the accent, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, but how's my American accent? So some people do think I sound American if I like try to speak neutrally. The Economist, yo, welcome to chat. I don't know. It depends on what I try to do. Because like there's some things that I have to like practice with American accents. Like, you know, like I say water, but American would say like water. It's like, could I get a glass of water? And American would be like, could I get a glass of water? I think that's, but like I don't like if I try to do like lots of sentences, I feel like I'll just dip out of it. Just checking that the playlist is still playing. water. But the thing is, if I put it like if I do like the Metal Gear voice, then I'll talk in an American accent just automatically. Like, Metal Gear, DARPA chief. That's a Hind D. Just like one of Otacon's Japanese animes. But like, because I'm putting on a voice, it feels easier. If that makes sense. I don't know. It just makes no sense to me. But like, some people have asked me, like, are you like American or Canadian? And when I'm speaking in like my most neutral Scottish accent. And it's weird to me. Fat Black Ninja thinks that's good. Yeah, I did my David Hayter impression earlier, like on the last stream. I think I was way more into the whiskey back then. Definitely a lot more chill with the whiskey today. But yeah, it's like getting into character. The other thing is as well is like I don't know, like I don't know what my voice would be like if I just did like a generic like American accent. If I just spoke the way I normally spoke, but just spoke in an American accent. I can't envision that in my head. But if I was doing like an impersonation of like someone like Snake, it's like it's easier to dip into that, if that makes sense. Try doing a Southern American accent. Well, yeah, I play guitar. Oh, that was shit. That was fucking awful. Yeah, I play guitar, and then I go driving my truck. Then I tell all my homies that I love them. I can't. I'm just putting, like, that's just fucking ridiculous. That's a caricature. It's bad. It's awful. Needs more banjo. It was bad. I'm sorry I suggested you guys. I should do like, I should tell a dad joke in Solid Snake's voice to make up for that. I know nobody, someone from the South wouldn't tell their homies that they loved them. I mean, it wasn't that far off. Alright. I'm opening up the subreddit now. I'm gonna find a good dad joke. So the thing about the Solid Snake accent is like I know the like inflections. Oh, I'm cringing at this joke. Oh, but anyway, here we go. My teacher likes to start every day by reading a joke from Reddit. She was sick the other day, so a subreddit. I'm gonna let that fester. Let you guys just experience that pain. I'm just watching the emotes come in. I'm just like, oh god. What do you say to warn your family you're about to test a new dad joke on them? Try this on for size. I'm just fucking looking smug in the back. Should I do like a really strong Scottish accent? I went to a deli and said, I'd like to try a bagel with cream cheese. A kid behind the counter said, sorry, we only take cash or credit cards. What? I don't even know if you guys even understood that. I went to a deli and said I'd like to buy a bagel, cream cheese. The kid behind the counter said, sorry, we only take cash or credit cards. This is where the stream numbers just like dip. Everybody's just gone. Like, no more dad jokes. There was actually I was on Discord with a few of my friends, and we actually went for about 1.5 hours just telling each other dad jokes. We just constantly just dad jokes for it was the longest time, and it was just like, how did we not just kill each other? I'm looking for more. You can see like my eyes are there. I'm like looking at my screen. A waiter asked me, "How do you like your steak, sir?" Like winning an argument with my wife. Waiter, rare it is. Having tried to pay with cream cheese before, that joke was offensive. Oh man. Metal Gear Solid 3 quotes. Here we go. Let's find some quotes from Metal Gear Solid 3. Is that quotes from the boss? The history on British accent versus American accent pretty interesting. Apparently the Americans didn't change. British did, going from Rotic to non-Rotic. Metal Gear Awesome quotes. I mean, Metal Gear Awesome quotes are just like, whose footprints are these? Hind D. Also, I feel like Newgrounds humor has not aged that well at all. It's like, I try to watch like some old Newgrounds stuff, and just like, it just has not aged at all. Where are my Metal Gear Solid 3 quotes? Naked Snake. There's not good. I mean, like, I'm looking for like Naked Snake quotes, and it's just like boss monologues, and obviously I can't do the boss's voice. Snake, what are you doing? I'm in a box. A cardboard box? Why are you... I don't know. I was just looking at it, and suddenly I got this irresistible urge to get inside. No, not just an urge. More than that. It was my destiny to be here, in the box. Fucking hell. The cardboard box memes. What do you mean? Newgrounds aged like a fine scotch. Super Meat Boy was originally a minigame on Newgrounds? I did not know that. You're looking for Naked Snake. I actually didn't know that about Newgrounds, actually. I didn't know Super Meat Boy was on there. I just remember like Tankmen and like Ego Raptor shit. And all the other stuff on Newgrounds that we did as teenagers that we don't talk about now. Yeah, Newgrounds was like was cool. It was like it was back in the old Wild West of the internet. I love the Metal Gear Solid games because someone on the phone will say Snake is a proper noun, and every time Snake says proper noun, it's like he doesn't know fucking anything. It's like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's like, Snake, you need to find the DARPA chief. It's like, DARPA chief? It's like, Snake, this is where Liquid is keeping Metal Gear. It's like, Metal Gear. It's that inflection. That's the Snake accent. It's not just the gruff. It's like the Metal Gear. Hind D. Nanomachines. And like, I think the best Snake monologue is the Metal Gear Solid 4 monologue. Metal Gear Solid 4 opening monologue on Goodreads.com. Here we go. Nanomachines. War has changed. It's no longer about nations, ideologies, or ethnicity. It's an endless series of proxy battles fought by mercenaries and machines. War and its consumption of life has become a well-oiled machine. War has changed. Discover and read more. Log in to get better recommendations with a free account. Continue with Facebook. Continue with Amazon. Sign up with email. Already a member? Sign in. By clicking sign up, I agree to the Goodreads terms of service and confirm that I'm at least 13 years old. Read our private policy. Yeah. One day Sithu will make this the intro of an album of his. Yeah, I'll just... Fuck. I would actually just like reach out to David Hayter and be like, yo, dude, how much do I gotta pay you to read this shit for me? How does one get in touch with David Hayter, and how much do I have to pay him for him to read like some shit in Snake's voice? For like the opening of like an album. Oh man. He's probably on Cameo. David Hayter Cameo. £56.25. David Hayter is... Okay, so... Instead of Senpai 4, you should do an MGS... Oh, I would love to do an MGS themed album. Also, just the music from, like, MGS is, like... What was his name? Who was the composer of MGS? Metal Gear Solid... Whatever. Harry Gregson Williams. Like, this dude did some fucking sick shit from Metal Gear Solid. The Metal Gear Solid theme is, like, so, like, entrenched in your head as well. But yeah. David Hayter. £56.25. 75 bucks, you said? Not bad. So, yeah. There you go. David Hayter. I don't know if I could get him to read, like, an entire, like, monologue. C2A presents animals as liquid snake. Oh, man. I'm just thinking about, like, the possibilities. Like, what could I get David Hayter to do? Anime's his leader. I don't even know her. That was bad. I go into these Friday streams being like, you know, I'm just gonna talk and it'll be fine. But inevitably, like, I'll end up talking about Metal Gear Solid, and yeah, we just always get here somehow. David Hayter narrates Senpai 3 novella. Oh man, do we do it? Do I try to read, like, some of the Senpai 3 novella in David Hayter's voice? Is that a thing we want to hear? Yes or no. Spam yes or no if you want to hear it or not. I'm just opening it just in case. This is gonna be rough. Yes. Yeah, sub goal will be like chapters. Fuck. Where are we? Senpai 3. Senpai 3 novella.pdf. How to spam conflicted. Yeah, I'm pretty conflicted about it as well. Let's just do like a couple of sentences. Let's do the first paragraph. The sound of paper rustling could be heard over the murmurings of students in the class. The windows were left slightly open, occasionally letting the soft spring breeze blow in. Remember to take one and pass one back, said the teacher in a soft, feminine but firm voice, browsing over her class. Okay, see how I said class there? That's like my Scottishness dropping out. Like, browsing over her class and ensuring that they were following her instructions. This isn't like when you did this in first or second year. You're going to have to seriously decide whether you want to pursue going to university, vocational school, or enter the workforce. So this is why I'm not a voice actor, because I will dip out of it. So it's like how this is another thing that people don't get about, like, Scottish accents as well. It's like the differences are subtle, but, like, I can hear them. So, like, it's a solid maybe. Jesus Christ, it's a solid maybe. It's like when I say class, it's different to how, like, an American would say class. Yep. Class. That's classmate. Another thing is, in Scotland, we would say something like, that's classmate, means that that's great, that's amazing. So, like, if I was, like, someone was recording a solo and they nailed it, and I'd be like, yo, mate, that's class. That's a thing you can say. I feel like, that's so Raven, mate. Bruv. So in Scotland, we don't say bruv. Like, we call people pal or mate. Pal, mate. And if you're referring to a woman, we also say woman instead of woman. Woman. And you'd call someone a lass or hen. If they're younger, you probably say, like, lassie or hen or cunt. Cunt's, like, gender neutral, like, for anybody. But yeah, I want to give lessons, because I feel like there's actually like a resurgence of Scots on like Twitter and the internet. Like, people are trying to talk more and excuse me, whiskey burps. people are talking about like people talking more in Scots and talking about like Scots education as well, because like a lot of people consider Scots to be like its own language in Scotland. So yeah, it's like they're trying to push for it to be more recognized and more used. There was apparently like a generation before mine, like I think one of my mates, Jamie, he's like big into speaking Scots and speaking Scottish Gaelic, and he said that, you know, his parents were told when they went to school to like, you know, speak proper and like, you know, don't speak in Scots. You know, instead of saying, oh, dinny day that, it'd be like, don't do that. And instead of saying like, you know, I don't know that, you'd be like, I didn't ken that, and like trying to get people from not talking like that. So there's a big movement at the moment in Scotland to, you know, embrace Scots and try and speak more like Scots. And I have you guys seen Scottish people Twitter before? Like that's a big thing that's big on Reddit, but like people genuinely speak like this, and it's quite funny when when put in the right context. Let me I would say choice of something is good, but mainly more inanimate objects. Oh, it's like something's choice. Yeah, that's fair. I'm just trying to find a good Scottish people. Oh God! All right. So here's a good one. So, finding it hard to know who they believe about this vaccine carry-on, torn between the scientists who dedicated their lives to studying virus immunization or the single moors of Facebook that failed fundy biology. And there's a lot to unpack here. So, single moors, so single mum of Facebook that failed fundy. So in your in Scotland we go to high school for 6 years, and in your third and fourth year you do something called a standard grade, which is like your sort of middle of high school qualification. And after you finish that, you can leave school or go on to do the hires and advanced hires, which are equivalent to like A levels in England, to go do university. But if you're not going to university, you can do the standard grades and do that. So standard grades split into foundation, general, and credit. Foundation being like the lowest level and credit being the highest. So what he's saying here is trying to like say that, you know, single mums on Facebook that failed like the most basic biology, but saying stuff about like not taking the vaccine. What does carry on mean? Oh, if something's a carry on, it's like a racket or like a bunch of nonsense. So it's like, oh, what's all this carry on then? It's like if some like kids are like messing about and stuff like that. So yeah, so carry on's just like, you know, just rambling or like, you know, some sort of mess or so on. Let me find another one. I'm just making sure everything's like safe for work as well. So I'll switch the scenes. There's obviously been some political shit as well, because like yeah. Okay, let's see. Like, okay, so can you guys even like understand and read this? Because like this has a lot of like Scots spelling. I'm just like, do you guys even get this before I even try to read it? Because this is pretty spot on for like how people would like, you know, read and write stuff in Scots, or like in a Glaswegian accent. I'm just gonna enjoy the whiskey because like you start out and it's like, okay, yeah, those are English sentences, and yeah, not a fan of the gearheads, yeah. So let me read it out in how I imagine this should be read out. So let's go. So I thought being one of those wee car freaks that meets up with other virgins in car parks, that they have the engines of the wee pimped out hatchbacks, tanning cans of petrol and wanking each other's alleyways on a par with goth, to be honest. TBH. So I tried to read it in like a Glaswegian accent, but I don't know if any of you understood anything I just said there. Hands up in chat if you did. You can just spam question marks if you had no idea what I just said. Here fuck being one of those wee Catholics that meets up with other virgins in car parks to rev the engines out of the wee pimped out hatchbacks, tanning cans of petrol and wanking each other down as always. I'm par with goss, TBH. Okay, there you go. So he's saying he would not want to be one of the people that meets up in car parks to like rev their engines of their little like souped up cars because he thinks they're on a pair of goths. So, but like there's a specific accent that I was reading it in, which makes it like completely like unintelligible. And yeah, it's great. It's pretty good. Let's see what else we got. I'm just vetting all this stuff. Oh man, like there's somebody that used to just have like, I'm like having to check all this stuff. Oh god. 5 p.m. I'm gonna get my weekend started. Have fun hanging. Take care, dude. Have a good one, dude. Thanks for hanging out. All right. Ask my mom to buy pot noodles, and she's bought these. You could have saved yourself the 39p and just tell me you didn't love me. Oh man. There's a lot to unpack here. So pot noodles are like, you know, just cup noodle shit. It's like a famous UK brand of cup noodles. But this is like Tesco Everyday Value, so this is like the cheapest possible stuff that this person could have bought. And he's just like, "Oh yeah, you could have just told me that you didn't love me." So yeah, there's that. Thoughts on fellow Scott K-Mac? K-Mac's great, man. Really funny guy. Really like his content's really funny on YouTube, but he's also just like a really nice dude. I met him at a Tesseract gig I want to say like it was probably 2 years back that I met him. But yeah, he's a really nice dude. Yeah, great guy. Like, you know, not much else to say. Yeah, he's a good, cool guy and makes really funny stuff on YouTube. But yeah, I'm struggling to find like good stuff. It's weird. Like normally the subreddit's just like, just filled of like really good references. He seems a super cool dude. Besides all the jokes, yeah, absolutely. And I will always stan fellow Scots. So he's a really good singer as well. Yeah, I was gonna say I will always stan, you know, fellow Scots when they are in, you know, making Scottish. When they're making music, you know, stand for all the Scots. It's all GameStop lately. Yeah, like the people are talking about GameStop and like stock stuff, and I'm just like, I don't understand it enough. Like I know what a short is, but like I don't know enough about how I would actually go about it to make any money off of it. Do you think his video singing in a Scottish accent was accurate? Have I seen that? K-Mac singing in Scottish. Alright, this is 3 years ago, so let's watch it together. I'm not even gonna bother fading out my my music.
Hey guys, just making a quick video here. I get a lot of comments that say, "Oh, your accent disappears when you start singing," and stuff like that. "Oh, I didn't realise you were Scottish because it doesn't sound it when you sing." The reason why I do that is because I don't think the singing voice sounds right with a Scottish accent. Some bands manage to pull it off quite well. Because I come from a small village outside of Glasgow and I have quite a lot of slang in my talk, I don't think it would sound too nice. But I've got the guitar here just for a little demonstration.
I think it's right, yeah.
I'm going to play, well, I don't really know the chords to Wonderwall, believe it or not. This is in a different tuning, but I'm just going to do my own version of Wonderwall, but with the Scottish accent.
He's not wrong. There's a reason that like most Scottish bands don't sing in Scottish accents, and it's because, you know, you just start talking and like your singing is just about how much, you know, you just hate the English, or how much you just, want to be your own country and all that. That's not true, obviously. But I think it's just easier. Very few bands can pull it off. I think just people spamming freedom in chat. Just spam freedom if you believe Scotland should be its own country. Yeah, I'm getting political. I will spill my beer from that one. Been listening to a bit of Gary Cinnamon lately. He makes it work pretty well. Yeah, there's some bands that do. I think Biffy Clyro make it work pretty well. It's not the strongest Scottish accent, but Biffy Clyro definitely make it work well. But everybody knows the Proclaimers. And I would walk 5,000 miles, and I would walk 500 miles. I would walk I'm a fucking shite Scot. I even got the lyric wrong. I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who something about the lyrics to 500 miles. I am upset that I don't know the lyrics, actually. I'm going to look them up. Proclaimers 500 miles lyrics. And I would roll Roll? That was the lyric? It's roll? Did you get... Okay, you guys have heard the song. When I wake up, well, I know I'm going to be the man who wakes up next to you. Like, that song, anyway. I would roll I thought... Walk? Okay, I'm confused. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's the main lyric. Everything Brute 32. Thanks for the follow, mate. Roll is new. I've never heard roll before. And I thought it was I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. It's walk. There's absolutely no way that's fucking roll. Yeah, walk. Like, what the fuck is this, Pesh? Walk. Roll? Like, what? What is this? It's like... See me after class. Like, no, that's walk. Roll is a Scot word for... Yeah, I mean, like, even if it was, like, it wouldn't even make sense there. Like, it's... That's just... No. Just no, mate. I'm actually upset. Like, I don't know. There's just some things where you just look at and you're just like, I'm just genuinely upset. Like, how can you confuse the word walk? Like, listen to how I say walk, and I would walk. How does that become roll? Like, can I get a sausage walk? No, you ask for a sausage fucking roll. It's like I'm gonna roll to the Greg's to get a sausage walk. No, I'm gonna walk to the Greg's to get a sausage roll. Ah, man, I'm upset. Wow. I've never had my mood destroyed so much than this being the first result of Proclaimers lyrics on Google, and I would roll. Also, the spelling as well. I'm gonna be. It's like, I'm gonna be. But obviously, I'm gonna be corrected. Now I'm upset I didn't have a teacher with a Scottish accent in school. Yeah, you should be upset. You would have been highly educated on the ways of Scottish accents and how we don't actually sound like Groundskeeper Willie and World of Warcraft dwarves. I'm just reminded of I'm gonna be hard mashup on YouTube with I'm gonna be in hard out here. That sounds cursed. I'm upset that I've even heard that that's a thing. I don't know if you guys like are gonna agree with this take, but it is of my humble opinion that the Scottish accent of all the popular English speaking accents in all of media and Hollywood, so media and Hollywood being like films, video games, TV shows, is the most brutalized in all media. So if you hear a Scottish accent in a video game, it's probably shite. If you hear a Scottish accent in a TV show or a movie, it's probably shite. It's not going to be anything like a real Scottish accent. And the problem is people hear Groundskeeper Willie from The Simpsons and they're just like, yeah, that's a real Scottish accent. And when they hear me speak, they're like, oh yeah, you're American, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, mate. No. Gonna no. And like, it's not a huge amount of times, but it's been a couple of times people thought that I was American or, you know, fucking Canadian or something. Like, what the fuck? New Zealand. Bro, I got US Marines before watching this. They support the anime. Wow, super good American accent sprinkled in. Okay, so like that's the thing. If I don't think about it, I think I can do it. But like, if I start thinking about it, then I'm gonna fuck it up. But I was gonna say, like, hands up in chat if you're from America, because you've never experienced this before. But if you're from Scotland or Ireland, and you ever mention the fact that you are either Scottish or Irish to a unsuspecting American, you're gonna get the, oh my god, you're Scottish? So like my great grandmother's mother's dog was actually Scottish as well, so that pretty much makes me like Scottish as well. Bro, we're like exactly the same, dude. We're both Scottish, man. Oh, that's sick, dude. We're both Scottish. What's your favorite Scotch, dude? And you're just like, I want to die right now. And that is a special experience. When you get the, yeah, so I'm actually Scottish as well, or yeah, man, my grandmother's like tree. My grandmother actually planted a tree in Ireland, so like she's actually Irish as well, dude. Weird anomaly. No one in America is American. They're always a mix of anything else in conversion. Yeah, absolutely. Like but, okay, so here's a weird thing that like I'm obviously Asian, or you know, you might not think I look Asian, but I mean I'm Asian by heritage, and I hear about, you know, something in the media about, you know, Asians being upset about a portrayal of Asians, except the Asians that are always upset are never the Asians in question that the culture is originating from. It's always American Asian. And I don't know if that's like a trend that is common across everything else, but I've definitely noticed it for Asians. It's like, I feel like Asian people don't care at all about, like, I'm from Burma or Myanmar, and in Burma, if you wear the Burmese traditional dress, like the Burmese traditional dress, like the lungi or the teme is how we say it in Burmese. If you wear that, people in Burma are gonna be like, cool, that's sick. They're not really gonna care that much. They'll probably take the piss if you wear it wrong. That's about it. But like, nobody cares that much. Hi Sithu, I'm at work, but do you want to watch Starship Troopers tomorrow? I would love to watch. Yeah, let's watch Starship Troopers tomorrow. Swiss, German, Austrian, Dutch, Black, Native American. You look Asian, but your heart is Scottish. I feel in the end, you're you. I don't care that much. Yeah, I mean, like, I have a very interesting like another thing as well is I don't have a strong personal identity, right? Because like I consider myself Scottish. I also consider myself Burmese. I also have a soft spot towards South Africa because I spent like 10 years of my life in South Africa. So I'm kind of just, you know, I kind of just feel that I'm a part of every one of those countries. So it's hard to say, like, you know, I'm one or the other. I'm actually Andromedan and very offended by our portrayal in XCOM 2. Oh, man, the Andromedans in XCOM 2. Like, I saw the Andromeda, I was like, oh, am I copying? But yeah. You also have a hidden... Do you have a hidden South African accent somewhere? I wish I could do South African accents, but I can't. Yeah, can you do, like, I can do, like, the District 9. It's like, oh, I'm Vickys van der Merwe. And Christopher Johnson is an alien. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry if you're South African. I'm really sorry. I can't do it anymore. You're also part Sugandese. What's Sugandese? Know any cool Afrikaans words? No, I think I've forgotten all my Afrikaans, to be honest. Yeah, guys, I'm half African, half Asian, and born in America. It feels like I'm all of them at the same time. I'm not gonna say it. That's like a interesting heritage. We're in Africa and we're in Asia, so I'm like, I think I'm mostly Burmese. Like the thing about Burma is like there's so many ethnic groups in Burma, and like Burma's so close to China and India as well. It's like it's so possible that dad is Ethiopian, mom's Filipino. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. There's a lot of garlic in my kitchen. I want to be in your kitchen. Also, just want to say garlic, fucking like S+ tier food group. Garlic and onions are like the thing that makes food good. Garlic and onions, fucking best shit. I was gonna say because I was I'm mostly Burmese, but grew up in South Africa, then moved to Scotland. So like, it's hard to say. What about mushrooms? Mushrooms are great. I like mushrooms. You know what food that I find completely pointless? Cucumbers. They don't taste of anything. Like, at least courgettes are like, have like a texture or something. But cucumbers are just like, it's halfway between like eating ice. It's like, it's soggy ice. Cucumbers are soggy ice. You won't change my mind about this. At least like you can like roast you can roast courgettes, and like roasted courgettes or like barbecued courgettes are like fucking great. I don't know what Americans call courgettes. I'm gonna Google what do Americans call courgettes? Zucchinis. You call them zucchinis. No, I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure the cucumbers in Scotland are great. I just think that they're just soggy. It's just soggy water. It's just soggy ice. Cucumbers for good hydration since they're comprised of 80% waters. Okay, the thing about pickles is like people put effort into like, making them have a flavor. But cucumbers are just, I don't know. They're like, it's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm breathing when I'm eating a cucumber. It just isn't anything to me. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've not had good cucumber stuff, but like I'm not a fan of cucumber. But like every single other green vegetable, like, fucking sign me up. Big fan of like all the broccolis. I love tender stem broccoli, asparagus, fucking every single leaf. Give me all that shit. Root vegetables, all that stuff. Also, I don't know if you ever heard the thing where like where people like tomatoes are a fruit, not a vegetable. If we go by the technical definition of a vegetable, not the culinary description, vegetables are parts of plants that are consumed by humans or animals as food. So technically, apples are vegetables by this definition. So yeah. They're perfectly sized for slipping into a rectum. I'm so glad that I pre-marked my stream as mature audiences only because oh my god. But yeah, just consider that for a moment, that that cucumbers are not as good as you think they are, and that apples are vegetables. I'll be back at the moment. I'm just gonna go for a quick loo break. That's not what I want to do. There we go. I didn't realize of all the things that I could have like possibly been cancelled over, it's gonna be like me not liking cucumbers. Like, I don't know. I've just never been fond of them, and it just seems like a lot of you are very fond of cucumbers. And like, I've just, but, you know what? It's not even that I'm not like not fond of them. I'm just indifferent. Like, I was gonna say like I think of cucumbers like I think of water, but I think water is great. Like so I don't know if you guys have heard of the memes between Scottish tap water and English tap water, and like one of the first, like if a Scottish person goes to England and they drink their tap water, the Scottish person is gonna 100% be like, "Here, mate, your tap water's shite." Have you ever tried putting cucumbers in? Yeah, cucumbers in, like, I've had cucumbers in gin. That was nice. But yeah, like, so if a Scottish person goes to England and drinks any English tap water, they're gonna be like, your tap water is shite. And one of my friends who lived in England, he was really confused because I was staying over at his place and I drank his tap water, and I was like, oh my god, what the fuck's this? And I was like, dude, it's just tap water. Like, why are you being so fussy? It was like, no, dude, this is awful. And he didn't realize until he stayed at my place and he drank the tap water at my place at the time, and it's just like, holy shit, you're so right. Scottish tap water is incredible. It's like, yes, it's just good. It's like, imagine like high-end like mineral water in America or something, and like that's the stuff that comes out of our taps in Scotland. Like, I open my tap and I drink the water, and it's just like the freshest, crispest, like just amazing water. It's so good. Like, this is how I know that I'm like privileged beyond belief. It's because I have this tap water. Where group had the best tap water? Where did you grow up, actually? Like, what was the water like? Describe the water, because like the way I describe Scottish tap water is like it's fresh, it's incredibly refreshing, it's light as well. That doesn't have like any of the hard water flavors that you get with some tap waters, and it like has the profile of like, you know, like really nice mineral water. Even water now in Texas now, it's kind of trash. I mean, yeah, I guess, you know, you're in Texas, so you better count your blessings that, you know, you have electricity. Sorry, too soon. Too soon. Texans deserve all the electricity they get. I actually really liked it when I was over in Texas. But laughs at California. I was like, oh yeah, Californians are laughing at Texans, like, you know, not having electricity. I was just like, Californians realize that they have literally no sources of fresh water. I've heard like LA like imports most of their water from, or is it? No, it's Las Vegas. It's the other way around. Sorry, Las Vegas imports most of their water from California. Las Vegas is a city that shouldn't exist, but it does. So yeah, we got to deal with stuff. Cries in our housing crisis. Okay, you guys want to see like a housing crisis in 2 stories? Okay. So I'm gonna open up 2 tabs. And I'm gonna open up 2-bedroom properties in Glasgow and 2 property bedrooms in Edinburgh. And you're gonna see why I live in Glasgow and why I don't live in Edinburgh. Okay, so webcam corner. So let's just pick a random 2-bedroom flat in Glasgow near the city centre. £149,000. So let's for all the Americans in chat, let's go pounds to dollars. So £149,000 is about just over $207,000. So this is for a 2-bedroom flat in the city center. My housemate used to live in Edinburgh, said it was ridiculously expensive to live in. Yeah, it's actually okay. So this is a 2-bedroom flat in this, like, pretty much like you're like 5-10 minutes away from the city center of Glasgow. If you find an equivalent flat in Edinburgh that's like 10 minutes away from the city center, £395,000, 255, 475, 220. That's 1 bedroom. Minimum. Okay, let's go minimum 2 beds. Only 2 bedrooms. Let's go. 595. 565. 260. 475. 600,000. Fucking hell. Edinburgh, like, you can see why I live in Glasgow, not in Edinburgh, because look at these prices for flats to buy a place. You're lucky to get somewhere below 200,000 in Edinburgh. I mean, like, I don't want to like be too like direct about where I live, but like the flat that I live in was far cheaper than any of these flats in Edinburgh. So I feel like, I mean, maybe Glasgow's yet to catch up in terms of house prices, but Glasgow is just far more affordable than Edinburgh. And to get from Glasgow to Edinburgh is like 50 minutes on the train. 50 minutes. So if I do like direction, Glasgow, Queen Street to Edinburgh, Waverley on train. I'm trying to get leave depart in the morning. So if you were to go from Glasgow to Edinburgh, it only takes 48 minutes on the train, but you're experiencing like doubling / tripling of house prices. So yeah. Southern California imports a ton of its water as well. Something like 85% of all water supply is imported. Fucking hell, man. That's scary as well. When you live in a place where your water is imported, it's pretty rough. Yeah, we'd be fucked if we Cal-Exited it. We already have enough water shortage problems as it is. So, I mean, I guess make sure that California doesn't Cal-Exit. I mean, if there's one thing Scotland is not short of, it's fresh water. We have a lot of fresh water up here. And we also... So in the rest of the UK, you have to pay for like water utilities. As like, you know, in the same way that you pay for like electricity or you pay for like, gas or energy. But so you have to like subscribe to like a water company. Not subscribe, but you have to go to a water company and pay for your water from them that way. But in Scotland, our water is just provided as part of our council tax. I grew up in SoCal. Yargaz says, I grew up in SoCal, but now live on the Central Coast. Just notice it even more since then. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I guess another thing as well, if you live somewhere for long enough, you don't notice, like, the problems or dependencies of that area. And then once you move, you realize, like, all the issues of it. Like, you don't really see all the problems that wherever you're living has. One of my biggest pet peeves with living in Glasgow is that Glasgow is, like, has a lot of, like, litter. Like garbage, like trash. Like people don't throw their stuff away in bins or like trash cans or whatever. Like people just, there's a lot of litter on the floor, and like I really wish Glasgow was cleaner. And like the reason why I know it's possible is because when I went to Tokyo is one of the cleanest cities I've ever been to. Like 35 million people live in the Tokyo metropolitan area, and that city is fucking pristine. And all it takes is just a change in attitude from people living. Like, all you need to do is, instead of throwing whatever you have on the floor, just keep it with you, take it home, put it in a bin, and let the bin men take it away. But just don't throw it in the street. Like, cigarette butts, whatever snack you're eating, like packets, like plastic packaging, just keep it on your person. Don't chuck it away. And Glasgow will be a much cleaner city within a year. But unfortunately, like, we just don't have that, so people just litter everywhere, and we just have so much fucking shite all over the floors. People talk about Cal-Exit. Tokyo was a mindfuck how clean it was. It was an honest shock my first day there. Hell, the waterways in Japan are so clean, you can clearly see everything. Yeah. And the thing is, like, a lot of the cleanliness in Tokyo comes from, like, a lot of it comes from good public utilities, but also just, like, personal responsibility. Like, there are like no bins on the street, so people just take whatever rubbish they have and just keep it, put it in their bags or, you know, keep it in their pockets, and then they throw it away when they get home. And if like 90% of people in Glasgow started doing that, even 50%, even half the people in Glasgow just kept whatever litter they had in their pockets and just kept it until they went home, Glasgow would immediately be a much cleaner city. And it's not as if like Glasgow's filthy or anything. I just feel like we could definitely improve in that regard. Japanese cleanliness for the win. Yeah, like also like their cleanliness and also just like their general attitude towards people as well. They're just a lot more polite. But then like, you know, like every country, Japan has its problems. Like you hear about like working culture in Japan, you're just like, holy shit, that's like even more toxic than it is here. But, you know, you win some, you lose some. Is what it is. I would love to go back though. I really want to go back. If there wouldn't be any bins in Germany, everything would be filthy as hell. Yeah, that's the thing as well. It's like there's loads of bins in Glasgow, but people just don't fucking put their shit in bins. Like people will literally drop whatever they're holding on the street instead of walking like 20 seconds to go to a bin. And it's like, mate, just go to the bin. It's fine. It's right there. But yeah, you know. I mean, it's yeah, it's filthy in spite of bins. Yeah, it's just one of the things that annoys me about Glasgow. I think like two things we could do to make Glasgow the perfect city on the planet. First thing, clean it up, make it a proper clean city. Like, you know, we're big about green energy in Scotland. Can we also do you know, talk about like actually tackling the litter problem in Glasgow? Second, get rid of football clubs. Get rid of Rangers and Celtic in Glasgow. And get rid of all the litter. Perfect city. There you go. Yeah, guys, says I visited for a couple of weeks a few years ago. I was chatting with our travels buddy who worked at a water management company agency thing. She's telling us that deviating from your career path is something that simply isn't done. Same as a shock to me. Internalized American freedom values of mine. Don't forget about the nukes in Scotland. Yeah, we keep all the nukes in Scotland as well. All the nukes are kept at the nuclear submarine base at Faslane, just down the road from Glasgow. Yeah, it's a weird one because like so much of Japanese working culture is around like not making a fuss and like, you know, knowing your place and all that kind of stuff. But the problem is like, you know, boomers exist. And like challenging set ways of thinking and living are the way that you have progress. But it's one of those things where like it's one of those things where it's the challenge of when you live in the West and you like even if you want to say that, you know, there's an element of conservatism in places like the UK and the US. Like the UK and the US are generally liberal societies in that we embrace change quite easily, and we're always hit and approached by change in a way, whereas societies like in Japan are very much like, you know, they're very conservative and they don't like change and they will oppose change. So it's one of those things where it's just interesting to think about the dichotomies between how we deal with new things and how countries in Japan deal with new things. And like I think working culture stuff is like really important because I feel like I don't know, I might be biased because I used to work at a corporate company, and my opinion is that we need to change working cultures very drastically to make things just I feel like we just need to focus a lot more on like, you know, actual human happiness as opposed to, you know, productivity and all this kind of shite. So yeah. This may be old information from what I remember, but the population age is vastly leaning towards elderly people than younger people in Japan. Yeah, that's also another thing as well. It's just demographic shifts have not happened yet. So voting trends might be more conservative or socially conservative because older people tend to be more conservative. So that's definitely a thing that can happen. So yeah, it's just one of those things, really. I worked for Philip Morris in Tokyo for 2 years. Okay, how was that? How was that for you? Like, let us know. Came back to your country due to burnout. Oh man, that's almost sadly predictable because of just like it just sounds like, you know, every single story of, like, you know, foreigners going to Japan. Like, you know, we there are good things about Japan for sure that makes it appealing as a foreigner to go. But, like, as soon as you work there, it sounds like, yeah. We go from 9 a.m. till 10. Fuck. Yeah, no, fuck that, man. I'm very much an advocate of live your life. Like, your life should be, you shouldn't be your life shouldn't be dedicated towards your work. Like, there are so many circumstances where, like, you know, people think that working hard will get them a good thing, good opportunities at work. Finding opportunities isn't about working hard. Finding opportunities is about being smart and knowing about, you know, who do you speak to, when to switch jobs, and all this kind of stuff. If you work harder at a job, 90% of the time they'll just keep you on the same pay and be like, oh yeah, he's working harder and we're getting more out of them for the same pay. So just do the bare minimum that you can and try to find better opportunities elsewhere if it affords itself. Mindless Marty says sometimes you have to do those BS drink nights with Japanese bosses and deploy nights on Akios website that will go 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. Fucking hell. Course had a lot of passes to being gaijin, dress code, and breaks didn't have to be as long. But honestly, our eyes had to do the grind. Fucking hell. Yargan said, QA guy here, adamant about no Friday deploys, doing nothing after 4 p.m. We need to chill like normal people. Yeah, absolutely. Like, honestly, just stick up for yourselves and be like, you know, I want to live my own life and I'm going to do this. Like, it'd be amazing. Like, for so many of these companies, it's so much more expensive for them to fire you and get somebody else. If you just set your rules and just say, you know, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to keep working for you, but I'm not going to do this. They're more than likely just going to keep you on and just accept your terms because it's just easier for them to do whatever you ask them to do. VP of Engineering here, spending my Friday afternoon hangout with C2A and chat instead of working. Okay, I still respect. Okay, yeah, you're still technically working, responding to people in Slack. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I've had a very short and colored opinion of corporate working culture, and it wasn't pretty. But like, I'm of the opinion, like, you know, you should never work harder than what you're paid to work for. Like, figure out how hard you're meant to work for what you're paid for, and if you want to work harder, make sure you're asking for more money. And if they're not going to give you more money, then go to somewhere else that will give you the money for how hard you're willing to work for. Because unfortunately, the way it is that companies are, like, a lot of people don't realize that companies are going to totally take advantage of you if you work really hard. And if you're on a certain pay grade and you work beyond that pay grade, they're not going to promote you. They're just going to keep you on that pay grade and keep, you know, getting that extra work out of you. So, yeah. Yeah, Akipa says startup life is focused on working hard for dirt in the hopes company IPOs again. So I never really experienced the startup lifestyle, which I guess is like, you know, it's a very unique, like, you know, because startup does sound very much like nose to the grindstone. Like, you're just hoping that, you know, you get that sale and you get that, you know, high valuation so that everybody who's involved in the startup will walk away and, you know, get that early retirement that they all wanted. But I'm just like, a lot of people so my advice would obviously go to people who aren't doing the startup stuff, but it's just like, you know, make sure you live your own life basically and prioritize how you work around that. I guess my equivalent of working in a startup would be like touring. Lots of work for very little pay would be my experience with touring. But it's also like one of those experiential things where I wouldn't trade it for anything, right? Because like my experiences touring and the things I've gotten to do while touring are so cool that I would never like trade that for anything. But yeah, just I don't know. It sounds super selfish, but just look after yourself. Like, don't do any more work than is required of you, And if people ask you to do unreasonable things, tell them that the things are unreasonable and you're not going to do them. So many people feel pressured because, you know, you got someone senior in a company trying to get you to do something on a Saturday or a Sunday. Just like tell them, I'm contracted Monday to Friday. I'm not doing this. What can they do? If they try to bring it up with you, you'd be like, read my employment contract. Literally says Monday, Friday. And if they say something like, oh, if it's like reasonable to do stuff outside of the working hours, be like, I decided it wasn't reasonable because it was my fucking weekend. Thank you for the follow, Petro Grigoras. Petro Grigoras. Okay, I think I got that name right there. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird because like I did the corporate thing for like what 1.5 years and I quit to do music, but you know, I've had discussions with friends who've been in the same situation me as the corporate life, and you know they've left to go do other things, and I have like other friends who believe that working hard is good, but unfortunately for them, it's like they're working hard and their workplace is taking advantage of the fact that they're working hard and not rewarding them financially for it. And it's just like, I don't know, like there's this idea of like working at one company and doing a whole career thing. It's like, I think it's kind of dead. Just get what you can out of one company and move on when they don't suit you anymore, right? It's just like, it seems really simple to me, but like, you know, just go and do whatever suits yourself. Because if you're breaking your back for a company you don't care about, then it's just not worth it. And like, I mean, this is all the more reason why I quit working at Deloitte. Oh shit, I said the name of the company I used to work for. Well, there we go, I said it. I used to work for Deloitte as a technology consultant. But I quit working for them because, you know, I wanted to do my own thing. Honestly, like in Scotland, there was a lot of cool people at the office I worked at the Deloitte office. But you know, it was just the same system, and unfortunately, a lot of the people that I was working for were beholden to whatever people in London decided, and London doesn't care about Scotland in the same way that, like, you know, the UK government doesn't care about the Scottish government. So it's like, there's only so much I could do to try to keep myself focused on Scotland-based work. So I had to quit to go and do anything I really wanted to do. So there was a big element of that. So yeah, quitting your job, make it go home. The one thing I will say is that, like, quitting your job is a really big decision, and like, quitting your job is a really big decision, and you need to, like, one of the main reasons I was able to quit my job, and it was an easy decision for me, is like, there was the possibility of financial viability, not the guarantee, so which is why it was still a risk, but there was a possibility of financial, like, viability in terms of, like, you know, being able to pay rent and pay bills and all that kind of stuff. It was never a guarantee though, and it could have gone, like, you know, tits up at any point. Have a plan if you're gonna quit your job. Yeah, exactly. And also, don't burn bridges as well. Like, when I quit Deloitte, I made my best effort to leave on good terms with everybody, and, you know, not burn bridges, and, you know, stay on good terms. So yeah, if Deloitte, Accenture Consulting, sometimes go Game of Thrones for sure. It's not even like at those companies. It's just you know, it's just senior people. They just want to sell projects, and you just get caught up in that, and that's what it is. That's what happened to me. I was put on projects that I didn't want to be on because senior people sold certain roles on projects that they needed, you know, junior people like me to be on, and I didn't like that at all. Easier to get a job while you still have one, yeah. As well, it's just like, you know, just I feel like one thing that you should always do is, like, you should always keep looking for jobs, regardless of whether you're happy or not in what you're working. Just keep looking for jobs. Anastasia's Verby saying hello. Welcome. Fat Black Ninja says, one of the best things I've learned is not burning bridges. Next step for me is kind of trying to get working for Asahi Brewery. That's a dream outside of making music. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. Always look because you never know if your dream job might pop up. Yeah, exactly. Just like, even if you're content, just keep looking. And which is like, again, it's advice that I'm like, it doesn't work for me because like, when you're in my situation, I guess I'm like kind of already living a dream in a sense, but the always looking thing is like always looking for some kind of opportunity to do something different or branch out or something like that. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, so I'm like, you know, how do I do something different or branch out and do something different? And yeah, it's I don't know. It's just, you just, you know, you're looking out for something different and something new to do. And for me at the moment, it's just like, the streaming thing's actually been pretty cool because I've been able to, you know, do music stuff 2 days out of the week, and then like Fridays. Honestly, I'm kind of just like unloading on you guys. Hope you guys don't mind because I feel like I'm just talking at you, just like a load of shit directed at you guys. But it's pretty healthy from my sort of personal perspective because I'm just getting to talk and like, you know. The thing is that you guys are also like totally welcome to disagree or say, you know, like, oh, actually I don't see it that way, or I don't feel that way about something you just said. Like, you know, when I said that cucumbers are just like, you know, it's just squidgy ice. But like, no, it feels good for me, like being able to do this. So like for me, like the reason why I feel like I want to grow the Twitch streaming stuff is like, you know, it seems like, you know, there's a good potential financial incentive as well, but I feel like there's opportunity to do stuff musically and to do stuff as a person that I've not done before. So like one thing as well is like I always associated Twitch streaming with playing video games. So like, you know, I associated the idea of like, you know, you would play a video game and like people would watch you while you play the video game. Like, I've actually found that it's better if I don't play video games. So you guys stick around better if I don't play video games. And this has almost been a 3-hour stream, and we've managed to keep, you know, a decent crowd of you for most of that. So gaming streams are boring. Interaction with the stream is a lot funner, I think. Yeah, I mean, like, it seems that way. Especially when, like, you guys, like, again, it's like I'm not... I think you guys care more about my opinion of games than me actually playing games, you know? So, like, which is why we can talk about Skyrim and stuff like that, and why Elder Scrolls games work and why, you know, Bethesda games work. But, like, if I actually was to play Skyrim on stream, people are like, okay, cool, I'm out, you know, see ya. Glad I feel happy doing it. Thank you, man. I mean, like, it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun just, you know, talking shit and drinking whiskey on stream. Also, you're fucking intelligent more compared to a lot of streamers. I mean, intelligence is very much relative. I think what I will say is I know what I know, and I know what I'm willing to give my opinion about and what I'm not willing to give my opinion about. So, for instance, when I was talking about NFT before, like, I have a opinion about NFT, but like, I'm much more comfortable talking about something like sciencey. Like when I was giving like definite opinions about, like, you know, like simulation theory, for instance, I was like, I have a really strong opinion about that. So, and I feel like it has a strong basis in something, so I'm going to talk about that. But like, I'm not going to be like, you know, I'm not going to try and shitball you guys. You know, I'm not going to bullshit about something and like try and convince you that it's like fact or something. I find it hilarious watching you play something like Doki Doki Literature Club. I've already played it, so like the spoiler aspect of it is gone. Minus Martin redeemed. Tell a dad joke. Okay, we're gonna tell a dad joke. Let's go. Come on, Reddit. Okay, I didn't actually click the Reddit button. We're gonna tell a dad joke, and I'm gonna find the best dad joke. We're gonna tell the greatest dad jokes. Just the best dad jokes. Okay. I've told that one before. Why did the blind man fall into the well? because it can see that well. I mean, like, I'm just on the subreddit, so it's like, you know, it's possible that you would have seen or heard those ones. Oh god. See ya, guys. Thanks for subscribing, all that. But like after that joke, it's understandable if you all leave. Like this is like the thing. Like people tune into my stream once and they'll regret just being like, yeah, just I'm out. See ya, kind of thing. And I understand it. You know, sometimes streamers say something like really inappropriate or, you know, something really like racist or sexist that are, you know, something just really bad, and then sometimes they just tell a dad joke on stream, and sometimes people in your chat just redeem more dad jokes. Okay, here we go. Let's go. More dad jokes. I'm just, you know, I'm just waiting till I get cancelled. It's gonna happen at some point. Someone's gonna come out and like point on the doll where he told you the dad joke, and you're gonna just point, like, you're just gonna grip the doll in like a fist and be like, he told the dad joke everywhere. And I'm just gonna have like Interpol, Police Scotland is gonna break into my house and be like, we heard that you told dad jokes on stream, mate. Oh, sorry, you're getting nicked, mate. I found pictures of Mount Rushmore before it was carved. Its natural beauty was unprecedented. Unprecedented. Oh my god. Oh. That was... Oh, I felt bad saying that. Ah, just delete my Twitch channel. Just ban me from Twitch already. Jesus fucking Christ! Like this is, you know when like people's careers peak, mine is like the opposite. Like I've hit the trough of the valley of fucking Twitch failure. Like Jesus Christ. Ugh. That was, yeah. That was a thing I've said on stream, so I'm glad that's I'm glad you guys are spending your weeb points on that. Your weeb score, that's what it's called, weeb score. No, but honestly, I'm having a lot of fun. Like the fact that I've got like, you know, between 20, 30, 40 of you guys just hanging out on a Friday evening, just, you know, just talking shit. It's pretty good. What am I drinking? I'm drinking Lefroy Lore, and this is finished. This is an empty bottle, by the way. So I drank 2/3 of it last Friday, so this Friday is my take it easy, and I'm gonna keep adding the disclaimer. Please drink responsibly, not like me. But yeah, Lefroy Lore. Very nice Scotch whiskey. And I gotta redeem the neat thumbs up. So let me grab the guitar. Let's make it authentic. Here we go. I never would have imagined that me like taking that picture with this t-shirt on would have been like such a meme, but here we are in 2021. And we got the emote as well. My hair is a bit scruffier than it was then. I need to like shave and like take care of my beard, but it's just so much. It feels like a lot of effort. It really isn't a lot of effort, but like, Jesus. The stream is a mood. I don't know what my Friday streams are meant to be. Like, honestly, like if someone asks me like describe what your Friday streams are, I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do we actually do on the Friday streams? It's not even a COVID beard because I've been cutting my own hair. I've been like, you know, trimming my beard, all that stuff through COVID. So yeah. Whiskey club stream would be pretty good. Should I just get a different bottle of whiskey every Friday and just, you know, sip it, not drink too much of it? Not gonna lie, I'm always hyped for music production Mondays, but Wednesdays, but Fridays keep more and more impressing me. Oh, thank you, man. Like, it's always daunting going in as like, you know, doing the stream thing and trying to keep people's attention while just talking. And it's hard to have faith in your ability to keep an audience while just talking about, you know, it's one of the things you just try and go for it. If I could go back in time and talk to your younger self, one thing that would help him immensely when it comes to music. So Chuncha Guitar asked that question about going back in time and telling my younger self one thing. I would tell my younger self to learn piano and learn music theory. I think if my younger self learned piano and learned music theory, like, I would just be even more insufferable than I am now about music theory. But like being able to do those two things, I think would make my life right now so much easier. I feel like just chatting, I feel, is the hardest category for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's hard to know for sure like what you're trying to do, right? And I feel like, I don't know, I'm just talking a load of shit, but I feel like anything I'm talking about just generally fits with my interests and generally fits with what you guys are interested in, so it's okay. But you know, it's a hard thing to balance for sure. I feel like I feel like I'm watching an artisan when you do your music production streams, and your Friday streams feel like a chill. All right, let's leave the office an hour early and go to happy hour sort of vibe. That's cool. I'm glad you get that vibe, because like that's what I feel as well. It's like, it's Friday, let's chill, let's hang out. This doesn't matter. We can talk about anything. And like, I'm the kind of person, like, if I go out with my friends to the pub and it's like, you know, it's hit quite late and you're a couple of beers in, you just like, you know, you just talk about anything. And like that, like there's one stream where we talked about like simulation theory, and like I felt that it was like so interesting that we ended up on that topic. The other idea would bring up some old childhood games and we'd watch you play and get your input and how, you know, nostalgia glasses and ramble out your feelings about the said game. That's about okay. Until there's a good Metal Gear Solid 3 port for PC, I think I might not do that. Actually, maybe when Mass Effect and Legendary Edition comes out, I'll play Mass Effect for you guys. But yeah, these streams are honestly helping me not losing my mind while writing my bachelor's degree during oh man, like, that's so rough as well for so many people. Like, people are just expected to get on with life as if it's like normal, that we're just told to shut ourselves in during, you know, the fucking most serious pandemic in modern history. And like, it's like, I think it's totally okay to feel overwhelmed or feel not okay about doing all this stuff, and that's okay. But it's one thing I will say is like, just try and reach out to people, try and speak to people often. One of the things that kept me sane during all this stuff is the fact that I'm like speaking to people every day on Discord, and like, you know, just keeping in contact with a lot of people. And you know, I'm speaking to my parents every like couple of weeks as well. Like, just try and keep in touch with people. Like, humans are social animals, and like, it's important that you keep that up and keep talking to people, because otherwise it's really easy to go fucking insane. Ginger Guitar, same a question about business in terms of like one thing I would tell myself. I mean, it's hard to say, because like, I feel like business wise, that's just like, I don't even know what I would tell myself, because I feel like business wise, everything's just been an accident, and everything's like, you know, it's been learning stuff the hard way. But at the same time, if I didn't learn stuff the hard way, I wouldn't appreciate it in the same way that I do now. So I don't think I'd actually change anything I know about business wise. Maybe I'd tell myself that Facebook in 2020 and 2021 would be absolutely useless. I really feel that kind of entertainment and field I'm interested in terms of this and sharing in general is the thing holding me back with my own music production. Yeah, it's just, I think one of the things is like getting over the apprehension and just accepting. It's just like one thing that I've like, especially now, I feel like I've had to deal with personally, and this might seem deep, it might seem like overly sharing or something, but like for me, it's like accepting my own limitations as a musician. But the thing is, like, I actually have had a lot more fun, and I felt a lot more fulfilled about writing music when I've accepted my own limitations. And like maybe my own limitations might be different from what you guys would expect. Like when I see guys like Taranto play and Jakub Jateki, and I see they're playing, and I hear like their compositions of like Jacob Collier, and it's like I'm nowhere near any of that. So I'm just like, okay, where am I at? What can I do? Is what I'm doing with what I know still fun and enjoyable to me? And as long as it's still fun and enjoyable, then I'm gonna keep doing it. And like that's the thing, I gotta just accept that like the level that I'm at now, and like who knows, maybe next couple of years I'll just become like a fucking jazz theory genius and I'll figure some cool shit out. But I've not, so we're not at that stage. But like now I'm just kind of like I know where I'm at playing wise, I know where I'm at like knowledge wise, and given that playing ability and the knowledge ability, I can write an album like Senpai 3 that I'm still kind of really proud of. And especially since I did something like writing the novella, which pushed me in a different direction. It's like, you know what, I didn't need to be the best guitar player in the world, and I didn't need to have all the theory knowledge in the world, and but I still was able to write an album that I'm really happy with. So I think that goes a lot into it as well. Just get into math rock and put your spin on it. I mean, like, yeah, I feel like math rock seems like one of the songs that we're gonna do on the writing stream. So we'll maybe get there. No man, that actually helps. Actually, thanks for the input. You're welcome. I feel like it's hard to get a feel for what you're meant to do musically all the time. So it's but like I don't know, like I said, understanding limitations and also placing limitations on yourself in terms of writing can be a really good way of bringing out creativity. It's one of those creativity through adversity kind of things, and I think it's totally doable. Guys, out of all the instrumental prog guitars out there, you're my favorite. Sorry, Pliny. Sorry, Pliny as well. Honestly though, like if you said that Pliny was your favorite over me, I would totally understand as well, because like Pliny is an incredible artist and musician and guitarist, and I will always stan my friends in the music industry. We shout out our friends in the music industry. That's another thing I like about being a prog metal artist or a prog artist, is that like I'm just encouraged to shout out and fucking say all my friends in the music scene that are like my contemporaries, whatever, like Pliny, David Maxim, Michi Jateki, guys like Sean, I Built the Sky, who am I forgetting here? Arch Echo, Intervals, like all these people that are like making instrumental guitar music. Like fucking shout out every single one of them. They're all incredible. Also like people like Yvette Young and bands like Covet and her own solo stuff. Like just shout out every single one of them. Like they're all fucking cool people doing amazing stuff, and you should all go out and support and fucking sip, and you should all go and stand and simp for them, because they're cool people and they make cool shit. The competitive nature in some genres is stupid. Yeah, I never got it, man. Life is so much easier when you can just be friends with everybody. Like, I never felt like I was competing with anybody at all. And I felt like if I ever needed help, any one of these people would give me help. And if any of these people ever asked me for help, I would give them help. And that's how I like personally felt about it, and that's how it's always seemed to me. Like it always just seemed like if any of these people in the music scene wanted something or needed help, like they would get it from anybody. Prog metal is just so wholesome. I'm glad you think so, man. It's like I definitely feel like it could be worse, but like I feel like we're generally all good to each other. Power of love and friendship, yeah. Your guys are saying, basically, you were my intro to the genre, and I branched out by checking out the guitars featured in the albums and collabs. That's cool. That's really cool, actually. That actually makes me really happy that you were able to find out about other artists in the scene by listening to my music, and I was glad by featuring those people that you were exposed to like some amazing music by Plenty and like David Maximici, Jacob Zadecki, and Aaron from Intervals, and like all these people. Like if you're exposed to them through my music, then that's amazing. And like them being on my albums has served its purpose, you know? That's super cool. I'm kind of getting all like, you know, like fucking all teary-eyed and stuff, but like I think that's so cool that like people are able to find out about people that I think are awesome artists through my music. Okay, last question, because I like this because I listened to it way too much, but the Andromeda is so fucking good. How'd that come about? None of it seemed forced, and the whole 30 minutes seemed to flow naturally. Okay, so the Andromeda was actually based on a literary structure called The Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell. So let's look up Joseph Campbell's Hero's Journey. There's also like a Wikipedia article on this. So the Andromedan is based on a hero's journey, so it's like structurally just based, like all the songs were written on this idea. So like you have a call to adventure, which is the a single step. So the single step is the idea of like you're stepping out, you're going on an adventure. The Mystic Village is like supernatural aid, and the beginning of a mystery. And then Trial of the Elements is the challenges and temptations. Let me get the fucking song titles up so I don't forget. And then something is like you have to. One common aspect of the hero's journey is like overcoming a trial that's within yourself. So like the darkness within is one of the sort of trial element. So you kind of have to overcome some kind of darkness within yourself. So that's part of like this revelation, and like I think it's a pretty common theme among like hero's journey stuff, where the darkness is within yourself. So like the enemy, the antagonist, is not really an antagonist. The real evil is something you have to defeat within yourself. Then atonement is kind of like, you know, rebirth. So I guess like, you know, this is the darkness within. So atonement is kind of like atonement transformation is kind of like the rebirth song. So like, you know, you've discovered that the darkness was truly within yourself, and you change yourself, and then you return, mother of creation, gift of the goddess. Like literally, like I'm really heavily borrowing from these ideas, and then you go back to the beginning. That's the completion of the hero's journey. Except the mothers of creation was kind of like meta, because there's the idea that the space cadets from the beginning of Set Course for Andromeda observed this hero's journey occurring, but the hero saw their spaceship and thought that their spaceship was the great all-mother god of creation, the mother of creation god. So there was some kind of like meta shit going on there. But that was the idea behind the Andromeda. Mindless Marty, thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks very much. Have a good day tomorrow, despite your early start. But yeah, that was the idea behind the Andromedan. She one says, I found David Maximici and the Helix Nebula through SF Set Course and Andromeda. Speaking of which, learning David's guest solo and Beyond the Boundary, and the fast lick is kicking my ass. I mean, keep at it, man. Keep at it. Black Fat Ninja blew my fucking mind. Thanks for that, man. Lore for these albums, I love for these albums. High school. Instrumental storytelling is always awesome. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, is like, I feel like it's so, I have so many options, right? Because I don't have to write lyrics. So, like, all I have to do is write music that kind of sounds like these ideas. So, I just need to write something that sounds like I'm trying to evoke the idea of a hero's journey. And at that time, one of my friends, who I mentioned in the Senpai novella as well, Jack, he was, you know, he was big into, like, the whole hero's journey mythos kind of thing. And that kind of inspired me to look into it and use it as a springboard for writing the Andromedan. So there you go. The Andromedan is basically an interpretation musically of the hero's journey, but for random space aliens that senpai anime space cadets found. I don't know where you go from there. Yeah, so it's one of those funny things where like I'm like I had an idea in my head, but like obviously like the specifics of writing each bit is like I don't even remember how each individual part came about. I just I had an idea for what part of the hero's journey it should be, and then I like had an idea for some kind of music for it. But honestly, like that second part of Andromeda was like, it's almost like one of those things where it's almost like a drunken night out, where like my motivations and my ideas behind each song are like so vague and I don't really remember anything. So, yeah, it's a weird one. No, you didn't derail at all. Like I'm totally happy to talk about this kind of stuff because it's like I said, it's just hard for me to recall explicitly like ideas and thoughts behind each part, like as opposed to something like Homebound or Senpai 3 where I can think specifically about the ideas I had, but like the Andromedan was like I can think vaguely about like hero's journey stuff, but like specific parts were kind of vague. I think the most specific thing I can think about is like the acoustic melody, the what do you call it? Yeah. If I played it, it would be the that stuff. Like that stuff was specifically like meant to sound quite East Asian in influence. But apart from that, it's hard to like. And then like I guess Mystic Village was meant to have like a Tesseract-y vibe. And then one song I wanted to have like second harmony, like so just like semitones apart for that really dissonant sound. And then like part 5 I don't really know much about, and then part 6 was meant to be like a reprise. But yeah, it's one of those things where like I remember the ideas but not like the specific processes. So yeah. The solo towards Rebirth gets me rock hard. Oh, let's go, man. Like the solo towards the end of Rebirth was like was actually meant to like sound super dad rocky, if that makes sense. Because like the progression like I feel like is super dad rocky, but yeah. Gets me rock hard, sorry, rocks me out hard. Well, I mean, I guess both make sense. Trying to remember how Double Helix goes. Double Helix as well is one of these songs where I'm just like so old, but like I feel like I don't know if you guys feel about this way, but I feel like I learned some things about myself and my writing when I go back and listen to old stuff, because like I forget some ideas when I write and I go into new stuff. So like I feel like there's something I can learn when I listen to stuff like Double Helix. I love how the melody from Mystic Village comes back during Mother Creation. Yeah, no, like Mother Creation was meant to be like a kind of like not an overture, the opposite of an overture, like the kind of ending overture, if that makes sense. Like bring back all the elements of the rest of the song and like, have it all there. So yeah, it's just like it was just like a really interesting piece of music for me to write, and I'm not sure if I ever get into the headspace or I write something like that again, but yeah. Sekhor's for Andromeda got me through some rough times at the start off. Oh man, like it's just like super cool to hear because like whenever people tell me stuff like my music got them through rough times, or you know, like they were going through something hard and like listen to my music help them, like it makes me feel like, you know, like I don't know how it makes me feel. Like well, I'm trying to put words to how I'm feeling about that. It's like I'm kind of like, you know, insignificant. My music has taken like a bigger role beyond myself, you know, having an effect and impact on people. And like it's never the intention, I guess, but it like definitely happens with music, and the fact that it does is so cool. Felt good hearing something about a journey towards a far goal. Music is magical. Yeah, I definitely think so. Like again, it's like I don't intend it for it to be this way, but when it ends up that way, it's like super cool, and it's super cool to hear people talk about it. Oh man, so I have run out of whiskey, and I think running out of whiskey might be the. Oh, okay. First, we're gonna go Bob Awesome. Question about set course and tab books. Do you provide tabs, or do they get a person or team figured out? And how would one go about getting to do one of your other albums? Okay, so for set course from Andromeda, I tabbed it out myself. So if you check the credits, I did all the transcribing. So either they tab it out and I get some and I correct it, or I tab it myself and I send it to them and they format it. So they do both of those things. So for set course from Andromeda, I tabbed it myself. Homebound, somebody tabbed it and I corrected it. Senpai 2, somebody tabbed it and I corrected it, and Senpai 2 is gonna come soon. And so for Senpai 3, I'm gonna tab it myself, I think. But yeah, so it just depends. And for other albums, it just depends on what projects we have in the pipeline. So in the pipeline, we have Senpai 2 and Senpai 3, I think. That's what we're working on. So just keep an eye out for those. Anyway, yeah, so like I said, that's all the whiskey I have left. And the whiskey is gone. So now that the whiskey's gone, I think I'm going to end the stream. But thank you guys for hanging out on Fridays, because like I never know how these Friday streams are going to go, and you guys keep hanging out and making them super fun. So thanks a lot for hanging out on Friday. And why is the whiskey always gone? Good question. Good fucking question. Why is the whiskey always gone? But yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. Monday, we're going to deep dive and fix what I think is wrong with the Jazztronica song. And yeah, I will see you guys on Monday. Let's make this Jazztronica song the best song we can make it. And yeah, catch you guys on Monday. Have a good one.